wise. Grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver. Dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. Got the homie Carter presents, already poing up. Welcome to the Blerd Cave, number 207, the number one comic book news stream on this or any other Earth in the multiverse, which you can also find on Google. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on iHeartRadio. You can find it everywhere that good podcasts may be found. And if you are one of Earth's mightiest listeners, throw us a rating. Whenever you watch the show, or I guess you have to do it every time you watch the show. But just take the time, throw out a rating. It helps us find more listeners like yourself. Carter,
say that first part again. Say the beginning of that whole spiel.
Oh wait,
say it again.
Wait, where do you want me to start?
The number.
the number one comic book news stream.
Asterisk up until the Blerd Without Fear gets on his political soapbox. Boom.
Hey, well, I'll never stop. So you keep the asterisks. I'll take it.
That's the literal point of an asterisk.
You keep the asterisks. I'm always political.
But yes, good morning, people. My name is Carter, and it's a vodka cranberry at 10 a.m. This is number 3. Get like me. How are you all doing on this Saturday?
And that's a good question. How is everyone doing?
Shit. So real quick, Sir Yuri G is in the chat. Shout out to Carter and his Protect Cyclops quote becoming a meme on my Facebook feed. For whatever reason this week, that tweet has been getting numbers this week. I don't know what the hell happened.
I wish I could tell you. I
got people like, I'm thinking it's the Zelda tweet when I was co-signing what you said, because I ain't never updating Tears of the Kingdom.
No, never.
I thought it was the tweet of me just putting respect on Static Shadows of Dakota, which is my recommended this week. But no, it's people going back to that Cyclops quote. That's not even the whole quote. It's just the part that made me laugh. It's just the part that made me laugh. But everybody is bringing back the Cyclops quote right now.
Well, for as much as people like talk shit about Cyclops stays in the zeitgeist because people are either trying to dunk on Cyclops, and typically in that regard, it's usually folks who've only ever watched the animated series, like the 90s animated series.
So they only picture Cyclops when he is like, "Hey, Cyclops."
That's the Cyclops that every time I talk to somebody that doesn't like Cyclops, that's usually what they're thinking. They're thinking about Cyclops from then, and it's like, all right, you can get out of that, man. Go read the comics, man, because that's where Cyclops is actually like Cyclops. And then there's people who are like, Cyclops was right, Cyclops this, Cyclops that, Cyclops this, Cyclops that. Which, I mean, to be fair, I have no beef with Cyclops. I actually really like Cyclops as a character. One of my favorite X-Men. But that said, I wish I could understand how the internet deems what is great and what is not. Because sometimes I will tweet something, nothing. And then other days it's like, oh my God, let me mute this whole thing because my phone is blowing up. And I don't like that. I don't like hearing my phone constantly ding, ding, ding. Nope.
So here's the thing.
Not a fun sound.
My notifications for everything, whether it's text, Twitter, or whatever, it's the jingle that happens when Link opens a chest or finds something. So it's so I don't mind it as much. And then somebody said, "Hey, is one of my coworkers, Carter, is that from Zelda?" And then it was just Stranger Danger at that point.
Oh damn! Nah, it was funny because So a lot of people, well, I don't know how many people know this, but I associate with a group called Nerd 901. Like it's a group of people that are local to my area in Memphis, Tennessee.
Two really good individuals in there, and one of them the deviant.
Well, I mean that's neither here nor there. We need to talk about that. But which, oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but we were actually having this conversation prior. I know it's just tangents. I promise I'm going to get where I'm going with this.
We 11 minutes in. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
Exactly. So the you follow Jack Black on YouTube?
Yes, Jablinski. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So did you see the song that he posted like a few days ago?
I did. I listened to it at work.
Do you know our own Adam Shafani of Nerd 901 is responsible for that song?
I did not know that. I know that they had been messing around on Fortnite and shit, but I didn't know he was really.
It was like, cause Adam pulled me, like we were getting ready to do like a live stream on Twitch, and he was like, he said, have you seen that? Have you listened to the song or whatever? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you know that's a conversation me and Jack Black actually had when I was setting up his Fortnite stream? And I was like, you know, like, you know, Starship Troopers would be like, would you like to know more?
Yeah.
Like that was my moment. That was my would you like to know more moment. I was like, yes. And he was telling me, he said it was literally verbatim the conversation. He said while he was setting it up, yeah, they started talking. He's like, hey, so just make a conversation. I was like, oh, so what other games do you get into? And Jack Black was like, I don't really play video games like that. And he said like the more they kept talking about video games, the more Jack Black kept bringing up like, and literally the names of games that he brought up in the song. Like he would be like, oh yeah, sometimes I play, I did actually play God of War Ragnarok. He said, I really like that game. He was like, that's a video game. Because he kept talking about how he did but now one thing I will say, and this is why I love Adam. He was like, he said, I'm not sure if I inspired that or if he was workshopping, but he was like, whichever way it is. I said, I don't know, man. Because for context, it was a conversation that happened months ago. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't something that happened like in the last couple of weeks. It was because I know for a fact he's been playing the song on like live appearances over the last couple of weeks because I saw a live performance of it. But no, like this is a conversation happened like months ago, like months and months ago. I would even dare say closer to the beginning of the year, maybe even before the new year. But neither here nor there. But getting back to it, so I was on the Nerd 901 stream. We were playing Ultimate Chicken Horse, and it was in the middle of that stream that we realized Tears of the Kingdom had been updated.
Oh, wow.
So like, look, because I heard a rumor that a patch was coming out, and I was like, oh, okay, it'll probably be out like tomorrow. And then as soon as I saw that, I looked up and saw, people already put videos out talking about how the dupe glitches don't work anymore. And I was like, oh yeah, this auto update been turned off.
When you sent me that first video,
mm-hmm.
and I was able to get, I think it was 3 Hylian shields. Mm-hmm. When that brother told you where in your settings to cut off auto update, I did it right to him.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
Because you know what? It's playing it like this to where it's basically, in a sense, I guess you could say like those old GTA God modes or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people understand what I'm saying when I say this. And this is not the alcohol talking. It feels like a video game.
Yeah.
And again, I really hope you people understand what I mean and when I say that, because so many games nowadays, I'm gonna dumb it down for you people that don't. They have to be these experiences.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Cinematic experiences.
I don't need that.
This kind of a story-based experience. Being able to jump just a free fall, drop 4 pieces of steak, but it's 20 in my fucking inventory. It makes it go back to feeling like a video game again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what I will definitely say? If it's up to me, if I pay $70 for a game,
yeah,
you better let me do whatever the hell I want in that game. That look, Legend of Zelda ain't multiplayer. This Tears of the Kingdom ain't multiplayer. You don't need to do any balancing patches or anything like that. The game was fine as it was. And you know what it reminds me? Did you play Borderlands 2, didn't you?
Yeah, I played all of it.
Okay, so you remember back when Borderlands 2 first came out and they had a shield in the game called the Bee.
Yes.
And everybody used to use the Bee with the conference call, the shotgun, because the conference call and the Bee was the most busted combination. Because you would literally, what was the name of the raid boss? The first, it was Terramorphous. Mm-hmm. You could drop, I know you're talking about. Yeah, you could drop into the fight with Terramorphous and lay that dude down within seconds of him showing up with the conference call. And they were like, that's not how we intended for the game to be played. We're going to go in. We're going to change it. They went in and nerfed the Bee. It was still busted, but it wasn't like stupid busted the way it was before.
It makes me remember when companies would find out about shit like that in their games and they wouldn't take it as serious. It would be something fun. It would be something funny. People are still enjoying the game. Whatever. But now, because they're trying to make everything this experience, we have to get rid of those things. It's like, no, you play these games to get away from all that shit. You play these games for the goofy stuff, for the fun stuff. The fact that I'm able to jump on a shield and turn my 3 swords into 6 swords is fun. It's funny. Yeah. It's a video game. It's fake. So that was my takeaway from this, and why I'm never going to update Tears of the Kingdom on my Switch Lite, because it makes it feel like a video game again.
Like if to quote Jack Black, I'm never updating Zelda no more. Never updating Zelda. That's me. That's me on this Zelda.
Did I tell this story on the cave of when I bought Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh no, I don't. I think it was something. I think it was a conversation you and I had off to the side before we went live.
When you brought up the price, and then we can go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much Tears of the Kingdom was going to cost. I remember Breath of the Wild when I bought it was $40, and I thought that was a little bit high, considering if people's minds can go back that far. This was a Wii U game. That was ported
to the Switch.
So I thought that was a little bit high, but it's whatever. I really enjoyed it. My first Zelda, that's cool. I go to Target one Sunday morning because I'm going to the mall to get a haircut. End up not getting that haircut because they weren't there yet. Black people, CPT time. And I go into Target. I see all this signage for Tears of the Kingdom. Don't see any copies. I ask a lady. She says, yep, we got some in the back. Boom. She takes him to the register. All right, sir. Your total will be $77.16. I said, no. I want the standard edition of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
He said, you try to sell me the deluxe.
I don't want whatever version you got in your hand right now. I want the standard edition of Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, sir. $77.16. So I'm gonna make sure all this busted ass stuff that they released day one gonna stay in the game.
Oh yeah.
Never updating that game.
You ain't taking my hover bike. You ain't taking all my busted mech. Do you see somebody made a TIE fighter from Star Wars?
No.
In the game? Yeah, like a big ass TIE fighter that actually flies around as it should. And look, never. I will never give it up. If I discover a game-breaking glitch that makes it to where I can't play the game no more, then that's just the end of my Zelda run, because that's just it.
Black Phoenix 77 said, I need to get a Switch. Let me tell you something. Switch is probably one of the worst purchases you could get. Not because it's a bad system, but because you're going to get spoiled.
Yeah, you will. Because
when you're in a bed with your significant other, the side piece, the girl you bought just for this evening, and you're able to play a big game, a full game, not a mobile game. When you're able to play a full game in bed while you trying to think up in your head how to kick this girl out your crib, you ain't gonna want to go back to nothing else. You're not want to go sit on the couch. You're not gonna want to sit in your little chair to play your video games in the morning. So I would think about it. I would think about it.
Let me tell you something. When they canceled Midnight Suns on the Switch, I was kind of happy. Because it's bad. I could play Midnight Suns on handheld, but like it was just like if I could play it on the Switch, like it just one more place that I could play it, just like to play it all over again. I'd be like, yeah, no, it's not. It's a bad idea.
Because, and you know why you think like that? Because if you're able to play it on the Switch, or I think are you able to play it on your Steam Deck? Well, not your Steam Deck, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Ioneo. Yeah, I can play it on there. You
ain't got to go nowhere.
Nope.
That's the thing that people keep forgetting about the Switch and the Steam Deck and shit. A motherfucker career deal, wake up, stretch. Hey, babe, how you doing? Let her get up. You make sure to get all the covers since she's been stealing them the entire night. Grab your shit, cut it on, and ain't got to move.
Nope.
You ain't got to go. You ain't got to get up and open your door to walk in that cold ass living room. So you got that first wave of just cold air hitting you in the mouth. You ain't got to sit on the couch and hear that noise that the couch makes when you sit down on it in your favorite spot. You ain't got to do none of that. You can real deal turn over, hit a button, and go right back to it.
Dude,
that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. And you want to know what else is dangerous? What else is dangerous is if you on the couch, like say like you boo thing, significant other, whoever, she want to watch TV. And it's like, she's like, you've been playing this game for 5 hours. Can we please just watch some TV? And you be like, okay, yeah, bet. And you get up and you pull the Switch out the dock and put the Joy-Cons back in. And I say this because, spoiler alert, this story is me. This story.
She don't even realize she made it worse because you were sitting up on the couch. Now you just didn't recline on this bitch.
And look, and I'm still playing Zelda.
Word?
Yeah, I'm like, let me take this shit out. Look, it wasn't 5 hours. I think I was playing for like 2 hours, and then just like, hey, I want to watch something. I was like, okay, cool. I took the motherfucker out, turned on Yellowstone, and was still watching John Dutton and his family be a whole problem, and was still sitting there on the Zelda, like didn't even miss a beat. So yeah. That said, speaking of not missing a beat. Speaking of not missing a beat.
I'm so happy you said that because I was gonna ask you about From.
Wait, I still haven't. No.
Okay.
I haven't. That's it. Yeah. I don't even know if I should take that journey because you said some stuff about it the last time we spoke, and I was like,
dude, they're being so stupid.
I believe it.
They're being so stupid. I'm gonna tell you this part. Part. You find out in the first episode of this new season. There's a new group that shows up. And all the stuff that you have been told about the first season, about the rules, and we can only do this at this time, this time, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. Everybody seems to just forget about that. Hey, we need to tell each other everything so that we can get a better understanding of this place. Now you got motherfuckers keeping secrets.
Oh, God.
But it's worse because they're being called out. Like the character on the show is speaking for the audience. And it's like, no, you don't get to do that. You don't keep secrets because whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But they do it anyway. And they just double down on it.
I hate shit like this. It's like, come on, really? All right. Before we get into all our stuff, our usual stuff here, let's take a look at some stuff. We got some things. Ooh, wait, that's not what I meant to pull up there. I want this. There we go. We got one here. We got 32 months out here from Xtriv out here In the Blerd Club, Silvermine says, have a great weekend, Blerd Co. Peace and blessings, man. We appreciate you, pimp. We also got the homie Go Conjure, his baby's father with $5 says, read that Storm comic? Bruh, what the hell up with Kate? Sneak dissing the black community. This the third strike. For those who don't know what GoCon is talking about. We talking about the 2 N-words she'd have dropped in the past.
Wait, huh? Wait.
What?
You said, okay, number one, you said 2 N-words too quickly back to back. So I thought she said them recently. Number 2, you said 2 N-words she said in the past. When did, and I'm gonna be real black when I say this. When did Ellen Page say the N-word? Because that's Kitty Pryde as far as everybody knows.
Well, no. So the first time Kitty Pryde said it was in God Loves Man Kills, like back in '85. Yeah, because I don't know.
In '88, so that's my reason for not reading it, y'all.
So yeah, it was okay. So there used to be this black woman that used to hang out with the X-Men, named Stevie. She was a dance instructor.
Okay.
She basically, there was this white dude who was mad that Stevie was hanging out with mutants, and he called her a mutie lover. And then so Kitty's like, and Stevie doesn't even bat an eyelash. And Kitty gets mad because she's like, well, how would you feel if he called me an N-word lover? And like, she actually said the word with the hard R.
Who approved that in Marvel?
Hey, I don't know. And then in a later issue, I think like a year or so after that, there was this black dude who was talking to her, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, you from that Xavier school with all the, he said, so what are you, a mutie? And then she's like, I don't know, are you an N-word? And with the hard R, and this wasn't here. I want to point this out. I want to look. Carter don't. I can tell you right. Carter, like, he's like, wait a minute. He's like, when did all this happen? He's like,
where are my girls so they can be clapped?
Look, and here, I actually. So I don't know if y'all remember that video I did, the problematic comics, but I talked about it. In that matter of fact, yeah, here, let's see. I'm gonna pull it up. So I'm gonna pull this up because I want y'all to be able to see this. But here, let me zoom this out a little bit. But yeah, right here. Say, you a mutie then, Pride? Like him? Gee, I don't know, Phil. Are you an N-word?
Hold on, I got to maximize my screen.
Carter don't even know how to respond. he's like he's like, what is this? Oh no, that ain't even it. That's not even it. That is not even it. Here, I got another one. The one that I mentioned. This is this is the other one. This is the other one. Like right around in here. This is where you get it.
Oh, he called me a
Look, Carter, he done fell out. He done fell out. Bruh. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So yeah, this third strike. Hey. That's what he said was a third strike.
Hey. Won't be reading another Kitty Pryde book. Thank you, Marvel.
Yeah, right. Look, Kitty is canceled. She canceled, y'all. She canceled. But no, we got
the losses get on to bigger and better things. Fuck that white woman. Oh my god.
Well, no, the messed up part is, so yeah, the new Storm book, Storm #1. Yeah. Here's the thing. You know what that book reminded me of? Because this is a prequel. This book Storm number one, and I actually was going to do a video about it, but I had a really hard time talking about it because I saw some people that are really gushing about the book, but I'm still trying to decide whether or not I liked it.
What book?
Storm number one. That came out this week. I
will apologize to you all. I don't read those books because I know that they're not current. And it's cool that y'all are going back, but at the same time, I'm straight.
Yeah, no, I'm super straight. I don't know if I'm gonna continue reading it because it's like it's not even that it's badly written. It's just that I just don't care. I just don't care. I want to care, but at this point, I don't care because like most of the book is Kitty being rebellious. It's so the whole, to give people an idea why, they're readdressing when Storm completely changed her look and how Kitty didn't like it, how it upset her. Because, and for those who don't know, they actually used the real life situation of Walt. Like, so for those who don't know, back then, that was when like Walt and Louise Simonson were on X-Men. And it was basically written as an allegory for the time when Walt Simonson came home after a long business trip. And I think he either had a beard or didn't have a beard. I think it was he didn't have a beard. He came back with a beard, and his daughter responded about roughly the same way to that as Kitty did to Storm coming back with a mohawk and like biker pants. That's what she talks about the whole time. She's constantly ragging on Storm for changing her look, and everyone else is kind of dogpiling too, like, oh yeah, you just changed. And I'm like, dude, man, y'all need to leave this woman alone.
Hey, do you know how,
like, ugh.
Do you know how good I am on reading the Marauders books now?
He's like, look, right now, Carter, like, yeah, they should let her stay dead.
How do you know she is in the chat right now saying you should have left her in that bullet? I swear for God. Joss Whedon should have left that bitch in that bullet. Let her make the bullet go through the planet and that bitch,
and then go.
In the words of the late, great Tina Turner, keep on rolling.
Oh man, dude, roll it on the river.
Super straight on Marauders now. Y'all just don't know how straight I am on Marauders now. I understand several of you all are watching this live right now. Several of you all are listening to this at work. Several of you all are listening to this in your car on the freeway. I'm so straight on reading Marauders right now. I hope Sebastian Shaw get both of them bitches. Oh my God. Emma Frost didn't even do nothing. I hope Sebastian Shaw get both of them bitches.
Oh my God. We got Dominic Colzer say, eating a bacon, turkey, and eggs. God damn, that sounds good as fuck. Eating a bacon, turkey, and egg sandwich while enjoying my favorite stream. Life is good, man. We appreciate you, Pen, but I hope, dude, continue enjoying that sandwich. Damn, I want a sandwich now. I really want one of those. That actually sounds good as hell.
Chicken sausage, egg and cheese croissant. Big
croissant.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It says we got another. This is from Talali House with the 17-month silver mining. It says is Azazel an external? That's a good question. I don't know if he's considered one. I don't know if Azazel's considered one. I don't think he is, but then again, the word on who is and who isn't an external as of late has been kind of weird, because so I think you've been following the channel for a little bit. I think it was last week. I don't remember exactly. I did a video about, oh God, I think it was X-Men. Was it an X-Men video? It might've been something else. I don't remember. Honestly, I've slept since then. But they brought up the white sword from Ten of Swords.
Did Kitty Pryde want it? Like,
I mean, I guess. But no. So they brought up I was reminded in that issue that he was an external. I forgot. That tells you how much I forgot about Ten of Swords, that I'm like reminding myself of, is that I forgot that it, like, in this thing, it wasn't even like a hidden detail. It was plainly put out. He was literally referred to as an external when he was first introduced in Jonathan Hickman's X-Men. Mm-hmm. Like it says, they literally call him like a warrior and an external. Like they use the word external specifically to describe him. And I completely forgot about that shit. So who knows? Maybe he is.
Real quick, Bobby Coltrane is saying, how was it Carter didn't know this? If you were not Cyclops, Wolverine, Magneto, Colossus, Nightcrawler, I didn't give a fuck about you.
I'll be brutally honest.
That's how I did not know about any of this Kitty Pryde mess. If you weren't the main ones that I was a fan of when Carter was a wee lad, I didn't know.
Well, I'll also buttress your point by saying that I too, as a kid, did not give a damn about Kitty Pryde. Like at all. Like I thought she was annoying. She annoyed the hell out of me a lot of the time. It wasn't until she got older that I was like, okay, she's in a much better place now. And I know what Chris Claremont was trying to do back when he wrote those lines. He was trying to like provoke a conversation, but that's an area of Chris Claremont's writing of the X-Men where I will say, yeah, I don't think that was the move, pimp. It's kind of like, what was it? It was a conversation me and Robo had last night about a YouTuber by the name of Vosh. And it came up that Vosh has used the N-word before. And like, I was like,
you didn't know this?
No,
because I don't. Destiny streams he done been on.
See, here's the thing. I don't watch Destiny.
Oh,
I don't watch Destiny, and I don't watch Vosh. I watch a very specific corner of leftist YouTube, and that's it.
Okay, so, and I'm not saying this to shit on you because we need to move on because we damn near 40 minutes in right now.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
I'm not saying this to shit on you, but I like to watch the other end of how I feel about something.
I do too.
Because in order for me to have an opinion that I disagree with, I need to know what the other side's opinion is on something. And with Destiny, he will just do a lot of debates and then we'll have... That was the main reason I watched it, was just for the debates, because I needed something in my ear while I was working to drown out coworkers. But I have listened to that. Vosh has been on a few of the ones that I have listened to, and that's how I am with certain things. So that's how I knew what time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It wasn't even just that. It was how he tried to apologize for it, but then not apologize. And just FYI, because I know you don't know this about me, Carter. I actually do watch both sides. I just don't watch Destiny, and I don't watch Vosh. I'm almost terminally aware of people people who I actually think are infinitely bigger and more influential. People like Matt Walsh, people like Candace Owens, people like Ben Shapiro.
Reason I said that shit.
But no, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
But no, people who are terminally hurt, people who have like Tim Pool, people who have literally been cited as the inspiration for why someone shot up a school or a church or a grocery store. Like, I know I'm terminally aware of everything they say, but Destiny is somebody I'm just like, dude's a fucking clown. I don't give a fuck what this dude says. I put him in the same category as people like Ripa. I don't care what they say. Like when they go off in their libertarian rants, I'm just like, whatever.
I'm happy you brought that up. I didn't know who the fuck Destiny was. Funny enough, I was looking for Destiny 2 gameplay stuff of some DLC that had came out, and that white man just popped the fuck up. So I just let it play while I was working. But I'm happy you brought up Ripper, because a lot of people don't know, because you say it off stream, but you like to make the comment that Ripper is my boy because I watch his content. That just goes back to, if I'm going to disagree with somebody, I need to watch their shit. I'm not just going to disagree with them because XYZ disagrees with them. I'm going to hear what they say on certain things, and then I can be like, fuck out of here. I don't feel like that.
Well, I mean, also, I say he's your boy, like, as in, like, how you always say so-and-so is my boy, or, like, whoever. It's a thing. Like, I don't mean he's your boy. You bring him up more than I do, though. Like, cause when we're talking off stream, like he'll bring him up. Like Carter will bring up Ripper, and I'll be like, I'm not even thinking about Ripper, and he'll bring him up just casually out of nowhere. But no, it's. When I say it, I just mean in the sense that like, whenever somebody's out here fucking up, regardless of whether you fuck with the person or not, someone will just be like, oh man, your boy out here messing up. Like, and it's meant facetiously. But no, I'm keenly aware of what Rippa says, even though I don't look for his content, but largely because people tell me.
40 minutes in, brother. I think we are ready to actually start.
Let's start the show. Let's talk about Spooderman.
You done melted my brain with this Kitty Pryde shit.
I mean, hey, you learn something new every day. Actually,
I will forever not like this character.
Before we do that, we actually got a $25 super chat from Nuck says, yo, Carter, so I'm working the weekend. Street Fighter 6 comes out. When do you think you might stream it? If you do on release weekend, I won't be able to catch it live, unfortunately. I'll catch the replay, though.
So I'm going to be streaming that like on the day it's supposed to come out. I'm going to get it a few days earlier just because of Cali Game Stores. They want to get their money quick. So I'm going to have it a few days early, but I'm more than likely going to stream it on the day of, well, you know what? When does Spider-Verse come out, brother?
Next week, like Wednesday or Thursday, I believe.
Oh, Wednesday or Thursday. Okay.
It'll be, I think it's like June 1st. Yeah, June 1st, I believe it is.
No shit. So that's a Thursday. So
yeah.
I think Street Fighter comes out on that Friday. So after watching Spider-Verse, I will probably stream Street Fighter the next day for you all.
Yeah. June 2nd, technically, but I mean, you'll be able to see it June 1st as well.
Yeah. Well, you know, you and I, we see the early showing, so we'll probably see it like that Tuesday or Wednesday or
some bullshit. And one last thing, and I only want to answer this because I think it's funny. Someone said, something I've always been curious about. What's the age difference between Colossus and Kitty Pryde? So that's kind of, well, because here's the thing. Kitty was young. Like, she was like,
really?
When she joined the X-Men, she was, I want to say she was like 14, 15, 16 years old. It was assumed the other X-Men were kind of around the same age bracket, like at least when they first kicked off. But Marvel's on a sliding time scale, and it was kind of implied that the other X-Men were older than her. So I kind of always assumed that, like, maybe if Kitty was 14, 15, or 16, Colossus was probably like 18, 19, or 20. That's kind of how I always looked at it. But even that, to me, is weird. Like I said, I could be completely out of pocket in me saying this. And matter of fact, you know what? Just to make sure that I am not, I'm looking something up real quick, just because I'm curious. I'm just very curious. But yeah, by my estimation, okay. So here it is. Kitty came to the X-Men when she was 13 years old. She was what? 13 years old. She was like 13 or 14 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm actually looking at it now. Let's see here. Yeah, she was around 13 or 14 years old when she joined the X-Men. Her powers manifested at 13, and she joined the X-Men shortly after that. So Colossus had to be at least like 18 or 19. I'm assuming.
I assumed Kitty was 15 or 16, and Colossus was about 25 or 30. Geronimo Smith, what is?
I mean,
give me that PS5 back, you freak. Give me that PS5 back.
Leave it alone. Oh. And then, okay, so after, I'm looking to see how old Colossus was when he joined. Okay, so he got his powers at 13.
Okay.
But he didn't join the X-Men. See, here's the thing. And this is what I never liked about comics back in the day. A motherfucker would be 14, 15 years old back in the day, and they would draw that dude like he was like 25 or 30.
That's why somebody recently recommended Bleach to me. And I referenced this woman on Bleach that has like a really big chest.
Yeah.
But the woman in question that has a really big chest is like 15 or 16. That's why I can't watch a lot of anime.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird to me.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't like that shit. Like that shit ain't cute to me.
That's gross.
It's the Persona 5 conversation for me. Like, how many people loved Futaba and like thirsted for her? And I'm like, y'all are aware she's like a minor.
Who is Futaba?
She was the girl who was like she was a little 13-year-old girl that the chief was taking care of.
Who?
Sakura Sensei, the guy whose house.
Talking about Naruto now?
No. Talking about Persona 5. The guy who ran the coffee shop, who the main character is living with, the little 13-year-old girl that joins the group. She's 13 years old. She's not in the same grade as the rest of the group. And there's a lot of folks who thirst after her. And I'm like, y'all are aware she's like young. Like, she's so young that she's even drawn to look underdeveloped, because that's how much younger she is than the rest of the group.
Carter, that Yoko chick from Gurren Lagann is 14. I don't even know.
Don't look it up.
I've never seen it. I know, but I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. And I feel like Blerd just ruined Persona for me.
Wait, you didn't know she was 13?
I don't know how old any of the motherfuckers are. I just know they in high school.
So the only two who are like what I would say is close to legal age is oh God, why am I blanking on the damn girl's name?
We're not gonna do this.
Anyway, Marvel Spider-Man 2. Let's move on to that. Because that's a whole rabbit hole. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so Marvel Spider-Man 2. The footage we got of Kraven.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he can be a really good card on Marvel Snap.
This man hates Kraven.
You know what? I haven't seen a lot of Kravens though. But
you ever read Kraven's Last Hunt?
Funny enough, no. I know people swear by that book.
It is amazing.
To keep it A1, the joke I have made about Kraven being Clayton from the Disney Tarzan movie has made me never care about that cat. I don't give a fuck about Kraven.
Yeah.
But the footage we saw of Kraven in this gameplay, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, let's talk. I'll tell you what. So let's start with Kraven.
Yeah, of course.
Let's start our stories where they begin. Okay. So I'm not gonna lie. Watching and here, I'm gonna pull this up because I want y'all to see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But when we kick off this trailer, we see Kraven like it. I'm not gonna lie. The dude on the right.
Kraven didn't.
When they first opened the trailer, because they focus, and I thought that I was like, oh wow, they're going with a different look for Kraven. And then you heard the dude say the name Sergey, and I was like, oh, this dude is looking for Kraven. And it's like, oh, okay, never mind then. And like, but then this dude shows up, and he's just like, oh man. It's like, okay, this dude's out here. This dude's out here dropping bodies. He just snapping necks. It makes me wonder if he is the super powered. Like, I wonder if they like melded the regular man Kraven with the original Kraven wasn't really superhuman. He was just a dude. But then like they've since then made it where Kraven is he's super powered now. Like he has superhuman strength, all that stuff. But no, I like what they're doing with Kraven. He looks like a whole problem. He looks like a whole entire problem that like the idea of him like being like, I need an equal. I need someone to hunt, like, which is basically what he always wants to hunt someone who he thinks is the most dangerous prey.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Real quick. When you saw that jungle, did you wish for like a tiny second you'd be able to play in that jungle? Because it crossed my mind for like a split second. I'm like, that would be cool to be Spider-Man in.
I think it'd be be cool for a little bit. I wouldn't want it to be the whole game. Like if there was like a wildlife preserve that he built somewhere near the city and like, oh, okay, this is a thing you got to infiltrate or whatever, that'd be cool for like a part of the game, but I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time there. Because I'd imagine web swinging would just be weird. Oh, hey, what's up, Taco? What's up, Cammy? How y'all doing?
Yeah, like both her and Cammy came in at the same time.
But no, I was just gonna say, I think Kraven, like, okay, so first off, let's go ahead and keep it a buck. Kraven's not gonna be the main big bad of this.
I feel like he'll be the one to halfway point.
Yeah, he'll be the one, because here's the thing. Here's what we can't forget. Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game. Mm-hmm. We cannot forget about Storm and Norman. Storming with no waves. I mean, he got a little wave in his hair, but not like he ain't got the waves he's supposed to have. I wonder if he's gonna get the waves he's supposed to have. Look, hey, don't hey.
I didn't expect you to say that. It caught me off guard.
Hey, look, y'all know how I feel about Norman and them waves. If he ain't got the waves, right. I get volatile. If he doesn't have the waves. Actually, I will say this though. He does kind of look like, remember that? I don't know if you remember this card. You may be trying to forget this. He does look like this though. Like, kind of reminds me of this image right here. That's actually, if you put them two pictures side by side, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I see it now. But no, we know that Norman Osborn is he's cooking up something, and we've kind of already seen a little bit of it. Yeah, we had the the end of the first game where we saw what is presumably Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn in the green, the tank of green liquid. Yeah, and he clearly had a symbiote suit like swirling around him. And and then we get to this game and we discover, like, when we start first seeing like, what's the first thing they show us when we boot into, like, you getting past the Kraven part of it, we jump straight into Spider-Man acting a whole fool. Like, I mean, look at it.
Let's go, man, before he gets too far.
Some clips I kind of want to go back and show. Look at this cat just come straight out.
You have no idea.
That loud. But, here, I'm gonna turn it all the way down. But yeah, he's literally like doing stuff that the symbiote normally didn't do for him. Like all the, like right here, like all the flipping the flipping out the tentacles and whatnot.
Now people can't bring up Ultimate Spider-Man anymore because now we have this. That was the one thing, that was the one constant that was going in my head when you watch this footage. It's like, well, now people ain't got to worry about trying to like get a ROM for Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, they just play this.
So like some kind of emulator for it or anything like that, because this black suit, and it's kind of cold.
Well, no, here's the funnier part about it too, is that you brought up the Ultimate Spider-Man. So do you know there's something this game is going to be doing other than the black suit Spider-Man thing that we haven't had since Ultimate Spider-Man?
Are you talking about the switching?
No.
Okay.
Location. We actually get to go to Queens for the first time in almost 20 years in a Spider-Man game.
Really?
No.
You know what it was? I think that so many people that played that first game were so busy just swinging. We didn't give a fuck where we were swinging. Yeah. We were just swinging because when I saw that it was in Queens and so many people on Twitter and on the live streams got really, really hyped for that. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure I've been over there before. Nope.
Queens has not been in the game. Queens has not been they have not featured Queens in a location in I don't think any of the Spider-Man games since Ultimate Spider-Man. So yeah, you actually get to free roam Queens now. Meaning the map has gotten significantly bigger. But no, now you brought up the switching. You brought up the switching just a second ago. That's another cool thing I like about this. Before I do, I want to say Spider-Man in this looks wild. I'm not gonna lie. Spooderman himself looks wild as hell, and I like it. I like how there was some weird stuff with his costume I didn't understand at first, like because it's more textured. But the more I kept looking, I was like, oh, I get why it's that way. Like, because at first it looked like he has shoulder pads. He doesn't have shoulder pads on. It's just that it's his costume.
It almost looked like it was a mod to you.
Yeah, at first. But like, it's this normal costume and how it's forming over the contours of it and like recreating it, which I also thought was kind of funny too. Cause like when he must have just gotten the costume in that scene that we saw because it seems like it's because it seems like and I don't want you to say this because in the comics when he had the black costume he didn't wear the regular costume underneath it, he just chunked that shit off to the side. But I mean I think that all in all he looks great. I would even say there's some portions of this where he looks terrifying.
Dude, I don't know how much of the footage you're gonna play, but like when it switched over to Miles and he did the drop down, I thought Miles was about to be in a boss fight. When you see the person land and the like tentacles and arms shit, and it was just Peter with the black suit.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're talking about. You talking about right here.
Right there. That right there. That was dope.
Like I was like, dude.
Was dope.
I thought Miles was about to get his ass beat. I thought it was over for Miles Morales right there. As soon as that dude here, I want to go back here. Wait a minute. Bam! That right there. I was like, it's over. It's over.
It was a boss fight or like a mini boss fight.
Dude, that shit looked insane. But no, I love the vibe. I want to take stock of something here.
Okay.
And I'm sure everyone else noticed this too. I hope so. I love the subtle storytelling we got in this trailer because at multiple moments, Peter is acting very different from how he normally is. Like he's being like here. I want to play. I want to play this clip right here. Because it's just hilarious to me. I'm gonna tell you what it did. It put me in the mind of something, Carter, and I'm gonna play this. Well, I don't know. You won't be able to hear it, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna pose this question to the audience, and I want to see what their reaction is. So at this part right here, let's go to.
I warned you about going after Connors.
Like y'all hear?
Now this is on you.
How he's talking. Like as he's chasing down Kraven.
That all you got?
You're like, it's. You would have put me. What was that?
Talking like somebody that owe you money. That's what he's talking like.
Yeah. No, but you know what it put me in the mind of, Carter? It put me in the mind of this.
Get back here, Shocker!
What? And I'm happy you posted it because I'm hoping to get that in the game. I was about to mention it.
You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth!
Like, and I actually saw people. I saw people post it too. Like, there are people who were on Twitter that were posted like, they're like, "Hey, we know, like, is Shocker back in the game?" Because they say we could recreate the greatest scene of all time. Shocker! Because like there was a part where he's chasing Kraven. He was like, I thought he was about to say, "I'll chase you to the ends of the earth." I thought he was about to do it. If he did it, I'd have fell out.
I would put my controller down, and the whole stream would stop.
But no,
I would die right there. This is the greatest Spider-Man game of all time.
oh yeah, 100%.
If they put that in,
Dude, I would holler. But no, I do want to say though, as far as like, yeah, going back to what we were talking about earlier, you brought up the switching, which I think is a very nice mechanic. And I bring this up because here, let's go back to that here. I want to restart that.
People realize that if that's the case, and let's say for the sake of this conversation that you can do that whenever you want.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Well, like, because here, like right here, like we're saying right here is like it literally says switch to Miles, and that was the first thing I thought of. I was like, I wonder if this is going to be like GTA 5, where you could just jump back and forth between the characters as you want, or is this going to be something that's dictated by the story? Part of me thinks it's going to be closer to that than being able to switch whenever you want, but like, or maybe this is just one of those instances where they force you to switch at this moment and you can switch wherever you want. Because I do actually remember them saying, or there being some rumor. This wasn't something Insomniac said. This is something that I heard was a rumor that you would be able to switch between the two characters, like that you would be able to jump back and forth between them. Whether that's like on a cooldown or it could be like willy-nilly, however you want.
I'm happy you said that. I'm really happy you said that, because if it's something that doesn't have a cooldown and you're just able to do it at will, all these other games that are getting put in, now we're going to get into a console conversation. All those other games that are on the PS5, y'all got some stepping up to do. If you're able to go from Peter in this area to Miles all the way over here
with no load,
it's seamless, no load, all the assets you have to bring in and shit like that, that's gangster.
So here's the deal.
That is gangster.
Here's the deal. And I will definitely, this is something I will definitely say. So if you play, was it Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart? That is the first game that actually utilizes Sony's tech that allows you to have multiple places available at multiple times, and even that's kind of situational in some points. Also, oddly enough, a game where Yuri Lowenthal is doing the voice of a character. But no, I do find it entertaining at the very least, the idea that it could be a situation like that where maybe Miles isn't all the way across town, but he's somewhere close by doing something else, and then you're able to like, okay, boom, 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 I'm doing a like let's say you're mid combo with Spider-Man, and you can boom switch to Miles, who's like that maybe like 8 blocks over,
like mid breaking somebody's jaw. Switching over to Miles real quick.
Well, nobody said Miles was gliding, bro. Here's the thing, Peter does it too. Peter does it too in the gameplay, like because they both have the web wings, but like how
we only get that in like video games though, because in comics, we'll have that flying squirrel suit, but they don't really utilize it.
Not as much.
Peter and them flying all over the fucking place.
Tom Holland even had it in Homecoming. He used it. I think, or it was in either Homecoming or Far From Home, one of the two. But he had the web wings for a brief moment. But yeah, it just, you don't see it in the comics as often. Like which I always found interesting. Just like, oh wow, why not use the web wings? It's a cool mechanic. But one thing. So as far as like all the all right, it's clear the Venom symbiote. Let's not even mince words here. The Venom symbiote is in the game. Duh. We know Tony Todd, the voice of Candyman, is in this.
I'm going to be really sad when that suit gets taken away from Peter, because I can't play it anymore. But at the same time, they gave it to Candyman. So I know whatever this boss fight is finna be, I'm finna be reloading from the checkpoint a lot.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And the thing is, I know at some point, we know Harry Osborn's gonna have a bigger role in this because they recast his voice actor.
Okay.
That was big news a while ago.
I thought that was Harry in the gameplay until he said Gunky. Because I saw the glider.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
immediately thought that was Harry.
No. That was Genki that he was talking to. But no, Harry is still sick. And at multiple points on the trailer, Peter's like, I need Connors because he can save Harry. He can use his tech to save Harry or something to that effect. Which I'm wondering if they use that as a plot point, if that's a way that they... Because, you know, all the thing about Spider-Man villains, all of the villains are kind of connected in some way, you know, in some weird way, shape, form, or fashion. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a deal where Connor's tech, because, yeah, for those who don't know, Dr. Kirk Connors as a Lizard is in the game. We see him we see blink and you'll miss it shots of him throughout the course of the trailer, but this is the clearest image you will see of him at any one point is when they slow the camera down and let you see him for a brief moment. But every other time you're seeing like glimpses of him, shadows of him. I wonder if they're going to do a deal kind of like similar to what they did in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where like Osborn and Harry are going to try and use some of Connor's science, and that's what turns them into the Green Goblin, where they actually turn physically into the Green Goblin. But I have a sneaky suspicion Harry will be the one running around in the Venom symbiote, not like Eddie Brock or anything like that. I think Harry will be made to feel better, like, and he'll wind up becoming Venom, so to speak.
Okay.
Now I will say, I'm gonna show my work here. There's a reason why I feel that way. And that's because of here. I want to play this clip. Oddly enough, we've been talking about Ultimate Spider-Man a lot, but we were talking about the video game. But some of you may or may not remember the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, which oddly enough is I always had a soft spot in my heart for.
The Ultimate?
Yeah, there was a
MTV one.
No,
okay.
Yeah, not that one. Not that one.
Right now.
Yeah, no, not that one. I'm talking about here. You'll see what I'm talking about here, like right here.
You can't take it off, right?
So in this, Harry is Venom.
How cool was that?
That's Harry Osborn right there.
Down.
Okay.
So I wondered, that's why, like, when I saw what they were doing with Harry in the games, in the first game, I was like, oh, they're going this route. They're going to go this route with it. And it's like they're mixing and matching. Like Insomniac is mixing and matching their favorite parts of every different era of Spider-Man together into like one solid story. Like they're taking...
You think it'll be American Son?
I don't know if I go that far.
Best to smile through that bullshit.
No, I don't think they're gonna go that. I don't want to go that route. But no, I feel like they're taking the things they liked about the Raimi movies, with the things they liked about the Mark Webb movies, the things they like about the MCU Spider-Man, the things they like about the old '90s cartoon, the things they liked about the Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, like all the different comics are taking all that stuff and they're merging it into like a soup, like a stew, and that's the universe that they've created for the games is what I feel is happening there. Okay. But yeah, I like it. I like what I've seen. And not only that, because that's another thing I didn't even bring up. I love because everything we've seen, I think for the most part was like, there was a lot of good gameplay moments in there. When they got to the stuff with Miles, when they were showing his gameplay, I was like, okay, this is more of the Spider-Man we already had, but with more of an emphasis on Miles's like other powers. Like you got to use his overall powers in the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, but like it seemed like they're finding more clever ways to like use all his shit. Like you go into
Lizards across the river.
He did a Dungeon
Not gonna make it in time.
Hadouken. He did a choke slam.
yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
no,
remember
100%.
The hunters tracked
Miles
Connors
was
to the
able
Harlem
to
Fish
do
Market.
that.
Well, no, like you know what? I tell you what here, and I want to
Yeah.
go to. I think
That
it's
was dope.
yeah. That yeah. Oh yeah.
I wish we had been able
about
to
right
do that
here?
in the game. Yes, how
Yeah.
you were able to pull all the way back.
Dude, yeah.
I think just
that
from a
part I
gameplay
liked.
standpoint, that would have been stupid fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no, 100%. And then, like they got the web wings out. Like they got the. I love how they had the little rings that he can glide through, to, like get extra air time. I thought that
It
was.
reminds me of Superman 64.
Yeah, it did. It did remind me of Superman, which is funny because that's the second time I've been reminded of Superman 64 this week. Because the Legend of Zelda has a quest line that's very similar. We have to like fly through rings and mess like that.
Oh, so I got the first part of the suit. The
you
gliding
did?
suit.
Oh, the gliding
because of
suit?
that. Yeah, I got the first part of it.
You got to do it 2 more times. I think I do 2 more of the. But no, like this stuff right here. I love how you could target the two. You can make it more precise. Because correct my memory, but like in the main Spider-Man game, and I think even the Miles Morales game, you couldn't specifically like target. Like it was kind of more of an area of effect, and you just got whoever you got. But like the fact that you could like target, like he's throwing these Hadoukens. If he whips out an electric sword, I'm a holler. If he whip out the
I really should play Miles Morales at some point.
You haven't played Miles Morales?
I have not.
Dude, you should.
I
It's
have
good.
only played Peter's game, and I've
In the
modded
DLC?
the hell out of Peter's game. Thank you, Jonathan Motor, for giving me Peter's game. But just Peter's game, and when I was able to put the Superior Spider-Man and Superior Octopus in that game, you couldn't tell me shit else. I didn't care about anything else. So yeah, I still have yet to play Miles' game. You are
should do
not
it.
the only one who has told me to play Miles' game.
Oh, damn. Well, I mean, oh, wait. We lost Carter.
I'm coming.
Okay, Cameron. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
Miles' game is great. His game's great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm curious to see how much of other characters we're gonna see in this, because I don't know if you were keeping an eye on some of the stuff that was happening.
I was probably not, because I was at work when this stream was going on.
Got you. So there's a shot when Kraven is looking at his little handy dandy tablet.
Okay.
And we see this shot right here, and it's showing all the different people, all the different like vigilantes and villains across New York. And one of the ones we see is a character from the first game, and it's because it's the character I constantly was like, dude, I wonder if they're gonna actually have her, become the character she is in the comics. For those that don't know, and here I want to go back to this image because to kind of show what I'm talking about. This character right here, Wraith. This character right here, she was in the previous game. That was Yuri. The cop that you were working with. You said did you play the DLC?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay, I won't go too deep off into it then.
Please do. Do you think?
Okay, but no. So Yuri, it was discovered that she was kind of going off the rails, like going a little more hard in the paint against criminals. She was going hard body after Hammerhead. And then, it was kind of left out in the wind what was going to happen with her character. But for those who don't know, in the comics, this is who she is in her when she's not being a police officer. She's a Wraith. Got these crazy bandages and stuff that she uses to fight with and all this other stuff. But I was wondering how they're going to play that up, especially consider everything going on with Peter in this. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. How they're going to work all that out. But also like that we saw like other characters too. Like we saw like Prowler, Black Cat, Taskmaster down here, and so on and so forth. I was like, all right, cool. So that kind of gives us an idea of who we can be looking out for, as far as characters go. But yeah, dude, I'm loving everything that that I've been seeing for this for the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
like it just looks great.
I think that's the one franchise that if a video game is to come out, it is absolutely going to make gangbusters just because of the swinging, and you're learning from how other devs did it, so you're going to jump on that and do that. So I think Spider-Man is the one franchise where you already knew you were gonna make money.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
what happened after the swinging. And with the first game, with how Insomniac was able to do that story, because I don't think anybody was expecting to give a shit about that story. I think they were just playing it to do swinging.
Yeah.
And having fun, free falling and swinging and free falling and swinging and flipping and tricks and shit like that. So
then they realized how much fun they were having.
exactly how much fun they were having, not just doing that. So I think the game was already in a state of where people were going to get it just because we have good faith from you all. And that's what happens with, if you go back to you and I having the conversation about Tears of the Kingdom. It was a good faith thing. We both enjoy Breath of the Wild. That's why we got this.
Yeah.
I think people were already at a, well, this was your first swing at bat, but you had several different other people to bounce ideas and get tricks off of. So you were already at a point where this shouldn't be bad in the fucking slightest.
No.
What are you going to do to differentiate yourself? And we got a good single player story from that. So I think the game already knew that it was going to be good and enjoyable and fantastic from a single player standpoint. This is going to catch a lot of people off guard when I say this, but just because of how their first swing at bat went, Ken Griffey style, they knocked it out of the park. I'm still just waiting to see what Wolverine finna be like.
Yeah,
Because I already knew that this second swing at bat was going to be good. So what does Wolverine look like?
Right. No, 100%. I can't wait to see I just can't wait to see how Peter and Miles are gonna work their their ish out, because I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this. But like right here, let's see, was this it? Yeah, right here. This part right
Thank
here.
you, Spider-Man. You say get your ass.
Get your ass on. He's like, man, get the fuck away from me. But no, just like how Miles and Peter like are talking to one another in this. How like Peter's just being really short with him, being very aggressive. Either part where he's like, he's like, oh man, dude's got big teeth. He's like, I have teeth too. Like I have teeth of my own. Yeah,
the eyes of the suit change when he says that.
Dude, I love it. Just the idea, like Miles is like legitimately worried about Peter, because he's like I even like how when he when Peter first shows up with the suit, and he's just like, oh, this is some new threads.
I can tell that a lot of people are going to be, if there's any part that they're annoyed by in that entire game, it's Miles talking Peter down from the suit. That's going to be the one part of that game where people are going to get annoyed because of the power that they have with that suit and what Insomniac is going to give the player. Because just from the little gameplay that we saw of how you can utilize that suit, nobody gonna want to give that up, bro.
you know what it's gonna be like? It's gonna be like us with Tears of the Kingdom. Folks gonna be looking up when you lose the suit and be like,
I
ain't playing past
turn
that.
off Miles talking to you and not being able to get that suit anymore. So I feel like that's gonna be the one part where people are going to be.
But no, that's what I'm
going
saying.
back to regular.
Yeah.
PS4, we bought it on release Spider-Man.
Look, but no, when people know, that's what I'm saying. That folks are gonna look up when that conversation happens, and they're not gonna play past that part. They're gonna be like,
They're
nope.
gonna do every side mission unknown.
Look, wait,
We gonna try to get the platinum in this game.
look, no, dude. You know what actually had me hollering? I forget. Let me see if I can actually find it. There was a meme. There was a meme that I saw where there was a meme I saw where they had yeah, here it is. I found it. I found that shit. You remember what was her name? Was it like Screwball? Yeah, Screwball, I think it was her name. In the game.
Oh, you in the game? Okay,
Yeah, talking about in the game. Right here. So was it if they meet again, she is dying on the spot.
It brings me back to Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
When Jester tried to poke fun at Doc Ock Spidey and he beat the brakes off.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh my god.
People, I absolutely agree with you. I think people are gonna look up. When do we not get to use? I think that's gonna be. Excuse me. I think that's gonna be one of the most searched Google tags.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
When do we lose Black Suit Peter? And I think everybody is going to just start doing side missions.
Oh, 100%.
Because they
100%.
want to beat the brakes off people with that Black Suit Peter.
Oh,
because once Miles talks you down,
oh, that's it. That's a wrap.
I think people are going to take a day from when they not watching that movie. I think people are not going to want to put the Spider-Verse shoes on. I think they're not going to read the comic. I think that's going to be the day where Miles Morales is. It's going to, and absolutely, there's going to be a day. It's going to be one day because I think everybody's going to be on the same point. There's going to be a day where everybody unanimously hates Miles Morales, not because of what he did in the comics, not because of what he did in the movies, not because of what he did on audiobooks, not because of what he did on video. Well, no, because of what he did on this one game. Now I can't use Black Suit Peter no more because this motherfucker want to talk to somebody, and I can't get out of it if I want to beat the game. So Miles for one day, I think is going to be. Everybody's gonna be Young Ripper. That's gonna be the most hated Black Hispanic Dominican brother in
Puerto Rican.
Thank you. On the entire planet. Because he took Black Suit Spider-Man away from us.
Actually, it's funny you said that because it made me think about this meme that I saw.
Okay.
It said Black Suit Spider-Man is in it, not to be confused with Black Person Spider-Man, who is also in it. I just love the memes that have been coming out, like surrounding the game. The game ain't even out yet. We don't even have a release date. We don't even have a release date for it, and we're already like, here we are.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think people are already setting themselves up because it said the fall.
Yeah.
And what I'm referencing now is the PlayStation stream that just happened like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
We know we have the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that's happening in the fall. As far as the people that I have asked about it.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to talk to you about it because I haven't been able to talk to you because we've both been busy.
Yeah.
We have Alan Wake 2 in the fall.
Yep.
Because the people that are fans of the game Control are going to be looking for that game. And now we have Spider-Man to add to that list. So yeah, for October, oh yeah, that's going to be the most wanted man right there is Miles Morales. Oh
yeah. Oh no, 100%.
People finna be stepping on every sunflower they see in spite of Miles.
Like, man, get the shit out of here. Let's take a look at some super chats here. Let's take a look at some super chats. So we got Michael DeFonte with the 1999 super chat. Says the Blerd Cave live show has the best energy to start the weekend off, man. We appreciate you, Pim. Thank you for that. We also got Bergtown Music Group with the 499 says Peter doing Liu Kang kicks, Miles doing Kamehamehas. They trolling everybody.
Hey,
Yeah.
when you kicked the shit out of that dude on that house, I want to know what that dude's thought process was.
He's like, man, this dude really.
Because at some point you deserve them kicks because you
Yeah.
keep getting kicked by.
Right. No, 100%. But it's just like, man, after a while, it's like, man, bro, can you please let me down? Can you let me down? Listen, Go Controls Base File said blurred in gameplay. Peter on land kicking dude to the shadow room is crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can see it right there in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That Peter don't care. Like, Peter is just doing Peter.
I'm going to show you why it was a bad idea for you to come here.
Yeah.
Peter wants his life. Bro.
Yeah. Look, I want to go back. Yeah, right here. It's like, yeah, look, this dude literally, like, the look of the menace in his eyes. You can't even see his eyes, but just like, bro, right there. He flung dude into the Jeep. This dude is getting, look. He's like, wait, why are you doing it like this?
There are no
Why?
jokes being said.
No,
I'm going to show you how bad I'm going to beat you down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you how bad I'm going to show you how bad I beat you
Dude,
down.
look at that rock bottom. Look, just like this man
I'm going to
is
show
not
you
playing.
while you should have told Insomniac you were some code that should have not been used. You see that?
Right? And then look, just right there, he just choke slam like 4 or 5 dudes at once.
Those bots are telling somebody at Insomniac, you should have left me as ones and zeros.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. They said, no, I don't want this. I didn't vote for this. But no, we got Black Century King with the $10 says, no one's asking, I'll do it. What do you guys think the odds are that some of our so-called allies are going to start screaming that Peter is doing blackface?
I don't think anybody is going to do that.
I don't think it'll be fine.
You know what? I'm gonna say this because Blerd would never say this ever.
God, what are you about to say?
I think this will be the one time that you see Comic Pop, Young Ripper, Blur Without Fear, The Quartering, all these other people on the same page of flaming whoever tries to say that Peter is doing blackface, because even those collective groups all together can say that you are stupid as fuck for saying that. You are dumb. You are an idiot.
Well,
I think that will be the one instance where
Yeah.
everyone collectively says that whoever tries to say that shit is a moron that's just looking for clicks.
Well, yeah, no, that's clickbait at its lowest, actually. At its most lowest. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I mean, yeah, there'll probably be like 1 or 2 people out there who might say something stupid trying to like drum up attention, but I don't think anyone's gonna say it with any level of seriousness. Because that's a little something I can tell you about. That's a little something I can tell you about the grift.
That's somebody who doesn't want to go the Young Ripper, Blair Without Fear, Quartering, Comic Pod, Comics Explain. They don't want to go that route of having to, and I know you might give me shit for this, but they don't want to go the route that you all did of going through the mud and getting through from the bottom of getting to where you all are now. They want to fast track it. Yeah. I think that's the person that's going to say some stupid shit like that. That's going to try to fast track getting the numbers and the views and the subs and the super chats and the super comments they don't want to have to go through it like you all go through it, or the years that it took you all to get to the point where you all are. They want to just cheat.
Yeah,
It's
cheat code
basically
to
what it is. They want to cheat their way to the top, and like,
Yeah,
I don't want to do what
100%.
these motherfuckers did. I'm gonna do this and get the same shit that they getting right now. So that's personally what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's an unfair. I don't think that's an unfair assessment at all. I mean, for me, I would just like, because I'm the type of person, I would see that shit just be like, whatever, and going about my business.
I disagree with that.
Oh no, I do it all the time.
You would. I think personally, if it was on a Saturday where you read shit, you would flame them.
Well, okay.
You would flame them.
I would call them stupid, but I mean, like, I see. But here's the thing: I can say that because I do it all the time. I scroll through shit all the time. I'll see something like, the fuck. Whatever, dude. I gone about my business. I was like, I ain't got time for this shit. I said, this is someone, because here's the thing, I'm doing them a favor by even responding to it, because that's what they want. They want someone to see it, to react to it, and by virtue of that, I'm giving their fire oxygen when otherwise it would be in a vacuum and would just go nowhere. And I refuse to do that. Like, yeah, if there's someone who's like saying something I think is like particularly harmful, yeah, I'll respond to it. But like, if it's somebody saying something that's like just completely stupid, it's not even worth my time to respond. I'm like, oh, no, fuck that. Especially if I can tell it's somebody that's grifting. Like, they're grifting. Yeah, they're grifting, and you know, no, I'm good. I'm good on that. They can keep that. Let's move on to our next thing, and yeah, we'll kind of we'll be talking about this is where we're gonna get into some Spider-Verse-isms. Let's see here.
Time has flown.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah, it really has. Oh, actually, real quick here, we'll do this real quick because I don't want this to get lost in the shuffle. Go Consure's base 5 with a $5 says, even if she isn't in the game, someone is going to mod her in and going to put hands, feet, shoulders, and forehead on her. Talking about Screwball.
Oh
yeah, even if I think she'll be in the game. She'll be in the game. She was too much a staple of the previous one. Like, I'm pretty sure she'll be there. She's kind of like I feel like she's gonna want to be in like the equivalent of the Riddler in every Arkham game. Like, she's just gonna be around. Here, let's get to our next thing here, and that's gonna be Spider-Verse 2. Man, the reviews are already coming in. People are gushing about this movie, Carter. Absolutely gushing.
I have never been someone who, and I'm not saying this to dog out you all that are listening right now and that are watching right now, but I have never been someone who has paid attention to those reviews because it's to me personally, my way of feeling about those things. It's sheep mentality while there's a plane that flies overhead that you all may hear. Listening to I'm not gonna name drop these people because I don't want Ernie to get in trouble and get demonetized because we need our bread. Listening to XYZ person about how they feel about a movie, I don't care how you try to spin it, is not how you feel about a movie because you have never seen that movie. So I've seen a lot of the reviews that are coming in and stuff like that about Spider-Verse, and I tend to ignore them just because I've never seen them. Even though they were positive, even if they were negative, I have ignored them just because myself, Carter Presents, even though several of you people come to me at comic shops on the regular and say Carter Presents, I ignore those reviews just because me as a person, as Carter, as an entity, have not seen them. So I don't have an opinion on it. And I'm not going to let what XYZ person has to say sway my opinion. Because if you have not seen something, even though somebody has reviewed something and they have said the shit that you would say. You have never seen it, so you can't say those things because you have never seen it. So I've seen a lot of the reviews coming in for Spider-Verse, and they're all positive, which is great because now Sony has a good property that's not a one side says this, one side says that. When it comes to Venom, every side says this about Miles Morales' Spider-Verse. I've seen a lot of what people have said, and I haven't cared because I have not seen it yet. I am going to see it next week, apparently.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show Ernie the overpriced popcorn box that I have bought for the movie because we have an I Am Groot that I got during. Funny enough, Ernie, I never told you this part. You know when I got this Groot popcorn box that had kettle corn popcorn because that's my shit. This was when I went to see John Wick 4. They were just selling that shit early.
Oh, yeah.
$25. I bought this Groot popcorn box. So I can't wait to see how much I'm going to spend for a Spider-Verse one. But I say all that to say I have seen the reviews, and that's cool. I can't wait to go see it Saturday to see if I feel the same way they do. How do you feel?
I mean, me personally, I've only heard one bad thing, like maybe one or two bad things about the movie. Okay. In people's reviews. There have been some people who said the movie is a little too dark. Just in terms of
because Miles is in it?
No, just because of tone. Because of tone. The tone is a little dark, and they said it feels like just a part one. Like the start of something. Like it doesn't feel like a. Yeah, people said the same thing about like it's the same criticism people give about every movie where like it's clearly meant to be like okay, case in point. I remember seeing the same criticism when Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 came out. Okay. The most common criticism people gave was that the first movie is kind of boring, and it feels like it's just like the movie doesn't. It feels like the real story isn't beginning until you get to the end of the first part. And they said the same thing about when Hunger Games came out because the final film was split into two different movies. People said the same thing about that. I remember smooth falling asleep on the first one, and the second one I was like, dude, this is actually infinitely better.
I have still never seen either one of those movies.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, you're not missing anything. I mean, I'm curious for the prequel that's coming out. That one's going to be interesting.
Wait, what?
They have a prequel coming out. Donald Sutherland's character, Snow, it's like back when he was young. And like it's like the first. I think it's supposed to be about the first Hunger Games, like how they used to be back, like before everything else. It looks interesting. I mean, you can't tell any more story about Katniss Everdeen. I mean, that ship has sailed. But you can show what happens to the other characters like before all of it. It is what it is.
So back to Spider-Man real quick.
Yeah.
You said it feels like a part one.
Yeah,
it's still
that's because it is
harder, right? Correct.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, that's what it was originally. Originally, when it was announced, it was Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Across the Spider-Verse Part 2. And then Sony decided to change that to make it Across the Spider-Verse, and then whatever the next part is, it'll be Fall of like I don't know. Yeah, it'll be something along those lines of Spider-Verse. Like it'll be, Through the Spider-Verse or Out of the Spider-Verse.
Trying to make some bullshit movie title. You just say, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what is good. It's kind of like when people try to keep coming up with what was going to be the next Spider-Man subtitle. Like, oh, it was going to be Far From Home, and it was like, oh, No Way Home. Or it was going to be Out Your Home, Kicked Out Your Home, or Back at Home, or House Arrest. I don't know. But no,
Out your home.
It is what it is. But no,
Miles a ninth grader, Ernie. Why he getting kicked out?
I mean, you see what his daddy found out he had vigilante. That's conflict of interest.
He said
It's conflict of interest right there. Jefferson Davis is going to have to leave the force. They're like, no, your son's a vigilante. We got to kick you off the job. But no, like people have been talking about how like, yeah, the tone of the movie is very dark and that, yeah, and that's largely because of some of the things we know that are, you know, rumored to happen in this. One of the big rumors is that his father is like going to die. That's kind of like the whole reasoning behind that's the whole reasoning behind why Miles is trying to work against Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. The rumor is that we might actually see like basically, long story short, that while Miles doesn't have an Uncle Ben, he's gonna have a Papa Jefferson Davis is the whole idea. Technically, he has his uncle, who was the Prowler, but like, but he's gonna have that extra thing that's haunting him.
I'm happy you brought up his uncle just because I feel like that's why I think they're going to keep it more comics based. And when I say comics based, I mean that his mom is going to be the one to catch it. Because if he, and I don't mean to make it really bare bones, but we've already seen him lose a male figure when it comes to his uncle, because everything the Prowler did in the first film, even through all of that, he still loved his nephew. He still bit it. So I don't think it's going to hit as hard if his dad dies in this one, just because we've had more moments with his dad than we have with his mom. The one thing that people are constantly bringing up recently with the mom is how how Miles was doing bad in Spanish and she snapped her fingers and
in Puerto Rican.
and the flag came up. So I think we're gonna get a lot more with his mom this time around, just so when we do lose her, it's gonna hit harder. So I think we might lose his mom in this first part, and then it's gonna be an instance of that is some really good art. What's going to happen when a son loses the mom? Because we've already seen what will happen when the son loses one male figure. In the uncle, he still has his dad to lean back on. And with a lot of families, your mama is everything.
That's who you came from.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going to hit as hard. And that's why I've tended to ignore a lot of people who bring up the fact that the dad might bite the big one in this one. And that's why I tell those people it's not going to hit the way y'all thinking it's going to hit if he loses Papa Spider-Man. The mama, though, that'll make somebody turn the fuck up.
I'm not gonna lie. I think you might be wrong there. I mean, I think it actually would hit either way, because I'm not gonna lie. The conversations that he had with his dad. I mean, yeah, he lost his uncle Aaron. I mean, yeah, that sucks. But there was a lot of emotion in that first movie between Miles and his dad. The fact that like I'm not gonna lie, I still get weepy eyed when like the scene where his dad comes to the dorm and Miles is in there, but he doesn't want to answer the door because like he's getting ready to go do Spider-Man stuff. He doesn't want his dad to find out, and his dad's sitting there like bearing his soul. I'm not gonna lie, that breaks me every time I've watched that movie. I've watched that movie no less than probably 20, 30 times, and it still hits to this day. And it's not to say that, either or could or would not happen. Honestly, I kind of hope they don't kill either of his parents, because dead parents is an overused trope. And I think Marvel realized real quick when they killed off Rio, that's why they brought her back. because it was just too much. Like the Ultimate Universe was just too extra when it came to that aspect of Miles. It's like they just kept trying to take shit from him. And it's not to say that, who knows, maybe they will. And then, maybe they'll do like what they did with Secret Wars, because that was how Miles got his family back, was through Secret Wars. He came to Earth 616 and all the memories of everyone of Miles, all that got put onto him. So it's like it's almost like he never lost anything. That was like doing too much to fix a mistake. I hope they don't go that route.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping they don't kill anyone. But just based on the tone everyone's taking, somebody's probably going to catch it. But I don't think it's going to be the character people think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's going to be any character anyone's actually expecting it, because a lot of people are focusing on the parents. It might not even be the parents, but who knows? It would hurt.
I just think about Spider-Ham just catching it and everybody just destroyed.
Just like, dude, that would. I'm not gonna lie, that would mess me up. That would, like I said, but that's because we've had time to get to know these characters and fall in love with these characters. Yeah, it would be kind of dark. And when you and I know there's also we also can't understate the aspect of like why everyone is fighting, why everyone is doing the absolute most. Because like right here we've got Spider-Woman, she's fighting for her universe because she doesn't want to lose her baby. She doesn't want to lose her family. We got Miguel O'Hara. It's very obvious that he has a child and that is at stake if his universe is destroyed. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the various and sundry different versions of Spider-Man that we see throughout these trailers, they don't want to lose what they have either. So I could easily see a lot of people are talking about the dark tone, and I think maybe that's probably got a lot to do with it as well. But I mean, I won't lie, some of these reviews are super hyperbolic and they worry me. I have concern because I feel like they're almost overhyping it. But because I think I saw there was one what was it
Speak on it, brother, because I got something to say as soon as you done.
Oh God. Oh no, but like, so here it is. So they say, what was it? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse raised the bar with his unique animation style and way of storytelling. Minds were blown when it was released, and fans thought there was no way it could be topped. Think again. Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse raises its own bar, which seemed impossible. You've also got people come out and saying, oh, Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse lives up to the hype in every conceivable way. Miles Morales absolutely shines in his second Marvel movie adventure. Gwen Stacy takes her place at the head of this table too. Tons of heart on display in every corner of this one. Oh, next one. This one was from Cinema Blend specifically. Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse lives one step above masterpiece. I mean, I'm not saying that these things can't be true, because I think Into the Spider-Verse was a masterpiece. It was a masterclass in how you tell a story, how you do animation in a unique way. And all of these are well and good. But I wonder if they're going to set people up. I wonder if they're setting people up. This is why I hate early reviews. Sometimes I wish that they would let kind of like how, video games have review embargoes.
I tell you what you really want. You don't want or wish anything of these reviews. You want and wish people watch these, listen to these, but at the end of the day, make their own fucking opinions.
Yes. No,
that's
100%.
What you fucking want.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I want. No, that's 100% what I want. Because I hate when people say this to me. I don't like XYZ thing. I don't like XYZ thing because ABC person said so. Like, I don't like this movie, this TV show, this video game, this novel, this song. I don't like it because someone else said they didn't like it, so I didn't bother. And I feel like you cannot have an informed opinion about something enough to say whether you actually like or dislike something if you don't partake of it, even if it's just a little bit. Like, that is why I can say I don't like certain things or certain people. It's because I have experienced them. It's like I've experienced a part of them that lets me know everything that I need to know. In regards to people, I'm a little more generous with how much I'm willing to consume of them, but I usually go by, oh, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. But when it comes to like things like media, yeah, I'm gonna be like, no. Like, if someone says, hey, how do you feel about actually, yeah, this actually came up the other day. I was talking among some friends and they asked me what I thought about that what was it, the show on Amazon Prime now called The Citadel.
Okay.
Which everybody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then, man, what do you think about it? Like, I've been hearing all this stuff, and they were telling me, I was like, I don't have an opinion on it because I haven't seen it. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, I watched this one dude's YouTube video where he was talking about it, reviewing it, and he gave his opinion on it. His opinion's my opinion because we think the same.
It's a sheep mentality
that
you don't want, that I don't want, that I feel like the few people that watch this, and it's and I hate to say this, but I'm going to blame it on alcohol. There are several of you who you'll listen to what Blerd says about a certain thing. That's your opinion on it. That shouldn't be the case.
No.
You'll listen to what Carter says about a thing. That's your opinion on something. You'll listen to what Comics Explain has to say about a comic. You'll listen to what Comic Pop has to say about a comic. You'll listen to what Comic Historian has to say about something. You'll listen to what Jeremy Johns has to say about something. You'll listen to what Chris Stuckman has to say about something. Yep, I've agreed with him on a few, so his opinion is my opinion. No.
And that's dangerous both ways. That's dangerous both ways. Because it's not just, because I talked about the negative aspect of it. Like, Jeremy Johns hated this movie. He thought it was dog shit. So therefore, I have not seen said movie. Therefore, I think it's dog shit. But it can also go the other way.
Yeah.
If all these people are like, Chris Stuckman said this is the greatest movie of all time, so therefore it's the greatest movie of all time. Yeah.
You watch it and you just like...
Well, I want people to taper their expectations because while I do think the movie is going to be fantastic on an animation level, on every technical level, I think this movie is going to outshine the previous one.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I feel like, because it's the same issue I have with people in like the MCU. Like, everyone goes into all these MCU movies thinking like, oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And they set up these expectations for themselves that no movie is ever going to be able to live up to. And then people are going to start like, because even if you don't take that person's opinion as your own, for better or worse, you're going to go into it thinking like, oh, well, so-and-so says it's going to be the greatest movie of all time. So now my expectations are real high. And then you go in and see it and you walk in like, oh man, it was great, but it wasn't like what they said it was. Like, I hate seeing people get that hype for something only to feel like they've been sold a false bill of goods. And then like that paints their opinion of something when they could have just went into it with their, like, I mean, and to be fair, I think there are a lot of people who do exactly that. They go into it with their own mentality on it, but there are also a lot of people who don't. So yeah, that's the thing. Honestly, this entire segment was really little more than a PSA. Just to be like, man, look.
I'm happy you said it. Because that's
a little more than PSA.
It was literally just because, and I feel like I have to say this because there may be some people
we do know the title.
That are listening this.
We do know. I want to say real quick. We do know the title of the next movie.
Yeah,
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yes, and I feel like you have to say this because you do have to dumb it down for a few. And just because the Blerd Without Fear, just because Carter Presents, Carter, whatever you know him as, says that we enjoy something and that we think something is really good, does not mean you will think it's that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Period.
100%.
Just because
100%.
we like something does not mean you will like something. We're giving it to you how we, keyword, feel about it.
Yes.
Not how you feel about it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's and like I said, I know we have a lot of I know we have a lot of people here who don't have this problem. Because I see you in the chat all the time.
Yeah.
I know you know how I know we don't have this problem, Carter? Not the way other people do. I mean, we have this problem, but not the way other people do.
Okay.
I know this because people disagree with me all the time. And I'm fine with that because honestly, I don't want anyone to agree with everything I say. I don't like, now here's now when it comes down to whether or not something is when we're talking about a fact, like a thing that is a matter of public record, that is an indisputable fact, we cannot disagree on those because at that point, I'm just going to think you're stupid. But when it comes to opinions, I'm perfectly fine with someone disagreeing with me. Okay. I will tell you why I disagree, and I will be very vocal about it, but like, I'm not going to be like, your opinion is invalid. And I think that's what people don't understand a lot of times when I disagree, is that like, it's not saying that, you know, you're wrong. It's just, I disagree. A disagree is a disagree. But anyway,
you went to the next subject. I'll say this and we can move on. There have been a few instances where someone has disagreed with you on a certain thing or have tried to get me, oh my God, I have DMs about it, to call you out on a certain thing because they don't agree with it. There have been moments, keyword people, moments, not on the regular, where you have taken it a little bit personal. And have
no, it depends on how it's delivered. Because here's the thing, and this is the thing I think people should understand about me. I guarantee you, each and every one of these moments, it was not cordial. I guarantee you, each and every one of these moments, probably with the exception of maybe one that I can think of off the top of my head, every single one of them has been inflammatory.
Okay.
So yeah, and here's the thing, and I've said this before on multiple occasions. If you come to me with a disagreement in a very like respectable fashion, I'm not saying that you have to bow down and kiss the ring. I'm just saying that like, don't be an asshole about it.
Yeah.
But if you come to me with like some like crazy, wild, aggressive energy or trying to like flame me at the same time, yeah, I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck you. that's just who I am. I do that to everybody. That's not just to the viewers and listeners. That is how I would treat someone if you approached me out in the world. If the times that Carter has told me when folks have approached him out in the wild, if y'all came to me with that same energy, I would laugh in y'all's face and be like, get fucked.
Okay. Real quick, Witch Doctor Son, I'm happy you're in the chat. I did block you on Twitter. Don't ever try to tag me in a Savage Dragon post and to be like, hey Carter Presents, I was thinking about you, blah blah blah. Don't tag me in a Savage Dragon post, bro.
Not
that's
that
why
nasty.
You got blocked on Twitter.
That nastiness.
I'm happy you're in the chat right now because I think you saw it and you laughed and you knew what it was
and moved on.
That's all.
But yeah. Nah, it's like I said, if somebody comes to me like being inflammatory with a disagreement, I'll be like, yeah, get fucked, dude. I don't give a fuck about you.
I'm happy you said that part.
No. If we're having like just a cordial discussion, I'm like, dude, I have disagreements with people all the time. I disagree with my wife about stuff when we watch movies. Like there'll be times where we're sitting there watching a movie or something, and she'll say, I have this opinion about it, but like, well, I have a different opinion, and it's like, okay, cool. But like, yeah, if she was like, yeah, I disagree with you, and you know what, you're stupid. You have this opinion and you're stupid for having. I'm like, well, then you're stupid. I don't fight fire with water, Carter. I fight fire with gasoline. Okay. I throw gasoline on the fire. But anyway,
this show has flown by today.
I told you, man. We got one last thing to talk about though. and I think we can be quick about it because it's not really a whole heap.
It's what it was brought up to us last week.
Yeah, and honestly, not much news has come out since then. I think it was in Marvel Preview. They did a thing in Marvel Preview about it, and it looks interesting. Yeah. I'm interested, largely only because of who is writing it.
Yeah,
and
that is literally it.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's 1,000% it.
He said 100%.
Yeah, that's 1,000% it. There is no other reason. Well, I legitimately have no other reason to.
It's a Marvel. That is the only reason I give a fuck about this book.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm not gonna lie about that. Why would I lie? I only care about this just based on who's writing it, and that's the Immortal Thor. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I keep it, can I keep it at 1,000?
Please.
So okay, all right. The Immortal Thor, it's happening. It's a book. It's a real thing that's happening. It was brought up last week, but we were all actually, I think the main reason I didn't want to talk about it was, for one, I didn't really know a lot about what was going on. And for two, it was brought up very late in the show. And I kind of just wanted to get through the show. But I always aim for these to be under 3 hours. But I feel like every time I try my hardest is when we fail spectacularly. Yes. So this whole thing was Al Ewing. It was revealed he is going to be writing Immortal Thor, and it's gonna be, it's not a like, and I don't want anyone to think like it's a sequel to the Immortal Hulk. It's more of a spiritual successor, just in the sense that Al Ewing, as he puts it, is kind of a hold my beer moment for Al Ewing, and he even said as much.
He's trying to make sure that this book is better.
Yeah,
than Immortal Hulk.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening solely because, and I think this would be for a lot of people. I don't give a fuck about Thor like that, but I didn't give a fuck about Hulk like that.
I was about to say the same thing. I didn't start caring about Thor till Jason Aaron wrote him. And I didn't really start giving a shit about Hulk until Al Ewing started writing him. So I'm going to give Al the opportunity to cook.
And for all you Christians out there, he did say that if you want to look at Immortal Hulk as the Old Testament, Immortal Thor is the New Testament.
Yeah.
Take that for what you will.
Well, and here, I want to take some things he said to some other quotes. So basically what he said is, for him, that naming this his run of Thor Immortal Thor is not just something he did willy-nilly. He's basically said that if he has his way, this is going to surpass Immortal Hulk. He says that putting Immortal on a book I'm writing is a promise to the reader and to myself. I was the one who pitched the title, not editorial, not anyone else, and it was basically a self-challenge. Can I do a book like that again? Can I do my end of it better this time? I have to try because the alternative is just lie down and let the grass grow where I fell. He says, I want to take another swing at that ball, and this time I don't just want to knock it into the outfield. I wanted to hit right out of the park and stroll calmly around the bases. I want to write something that goes as far and as hard and as powerful as the other book I did, to give a similar experience to the people who supported that book and supported me through it and took something deep out of it, but with the benefit of experience.
You think it'll do it?
I mean, if anyone can do it, it's Al.
Yeah, that is a very like politician way to answer that.
I mean,
but
hey,
now, okay. And I'll say this, and I'll leave it to you. I don't think anyone, and I'm going to speak into the mic when I say this more, I don't think anyone expected Jason Aaron to be as on point as he was with Thor. Nobody was expecting that. So my question to the Blerd without fear, because I say Blerd because I didn't even realize, like, I was looking it up recently. Several people have comments to say about someone referring to themselves as a Blerd. Why can't you just be a nerd like everyone else? Why are you having to with the whoopty 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 whoop? Do you think he can do another 50 of Thor like he did Hulk?
I think he could. I think he could.
Okay.
I think he could. Like I said, if anyone could do it, it's going to be Al. And the thing is, I think this will work because he has a lot to work with. I don't think this is going to. So here's, and I'm not disparaging anybody when I say this.
Okay.
Very few writers have the stamina, even when a book is good, to stay on it. Not everyone has the mental capacity or the emotional capacity to stay on a book that long. But I feel like Al can do it because he's done it before. And I feel like if he wants to top Immortal Hulk, he'll take this to 50 if he can. Now, here's the other end of it. That also depends on the readership. Because the readership has to support that book. And I hope that they do. I think this is going to be good, especially with everything going on with, Donny Cates's, or not, it's not Donny Cates's anymore, but like, what he started with Thor that's now coming to a conclusion. They've readdressed, I think both Hela and Thanos' origins in Thor recently, and the next issue will be the final issue of that. And it was one of those things, like, Donny Cates started off with such promise, but I mean, once again, he had a lot of stuff going on and he just had to step away from it. And while I respect that, at the same time, it's like, well, what could have been? What could have been if he would have stayed on? Like, what, like, it's not to say that I think it was a Torrin Grunbeck who's writing it now. It's not to say he's not working off of notes from Donny Cates, but it's just like, it's not the same. It's not the same. The tone of the book is incredibly different now. Which, I mean, you would expect that because it's a different writer. But,
yeah, of course.
But Al Ewing, I think he could do something special because, what was it? The blurb for this comic says, in Norse myths, they called him Thunderer. Which we don't really get to hear him called as much anymore. It's like more of a, like, early days, when they would call him the Thunderer. They don't call him that as much anymore. But they say Vur has he been called. Laridi. The gods know him as Asgard's king, keeper of Mjolnir, hero of the tales. When injustice grips the earth and ancient powers bring down the sky, he fights for those who cannot. And when the tale is done, we will know what that cost him. This is the story of the immortal Thor.
Okay. Can I tell you why I think it might be a little bit of an issue, or just a tiny bit?
Okay, try me.
Hulk started current after the Hawkeye stuff, after the Doc Green stuff, and it just went on. With just looking at the covers and looking at or listening to that blurb you just spoke on, it seems like they're going for a more, or it seems like Al Ewing is going for a more tried and true OG, what people grew up on Thor, than the current lost his arm, lost his hammer, got it back, using multiple, now he's happy in one. It seems like it's going for a more OG, old school, what people grew up on Thor. Do you see it taking a little bit of time for people to get a grasp on it or wanting to as much, since it's not a current Thor, since it's going more OG status? Again, just from the covers and the blurb you read.
I mean, it has to be a different story because here's the thing, and Al Ewing even said as much himself, that Hulk was horror and tragedy But Thor tends to lean more towards fantasy and hope. Bruce Banner is fractured by his origin, going through a hell of his own making to gain the power of a monster, whereas Don Blake becomes the person he truly is inside, and in doing so gains the power of a god, an unconventional god, long hair, all that good stuff. But he says, to put my biblical hat back on, that's where you get into the Old Testament, New Testament remark that he makes.
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like it's going to do a little bit of both. It's going to drop back into things that are happening in the past. It'll also probably deal with some things that are going on in the present. The thing I want to see, and what I'm actually hoping Al Ewing does, because no one's really done this with Thor in the comics, really, I want to see Thor act more like the Thor that actually exists in Norse mythology. Okay. I want to see Al Ewing. Like, okay, when we played God of War Ragnarok and Thor shows up, that version of Thor is more accurate to Norse mythology than Marvel could ever hope to be.
Okay.
I want to see Thor in a particular instance where he acts more like that, where he's a bit more of a brute. Where he's, I want to, like, if they show early, and we've seen early days Thor because of Jason Aaron, where he's not as affable. He's kind of more of a jerk. That's the closest I think we've ever gotten. Like when he was more young and impressionable. But like, I want to see Thor like kind of broken down a little bit. I mean, I don't know if that'll be the case, but I kind of want to see him wrestle with that, because they do say that they're going to be unearthing like ancient gods and elder gods that are going to be trying to rain down terror upon both Asgard, or not just Asgard, but both Asgard and Earth. And that he's gonna have to try and lift himself up to levels he's never been lifted before, and that even that might not even be enough. I actually want to see what Al can do with it. And honestly, I think that it would be a nice change of pace from what Thor has been as of late.
And I ask you this question, and then we'll leave it there for you to answer. And this is why you all want me on this show, because I can ask these questions. Because I don't think a lot of you all may have been thinking about it this way until I asked the question. Do you think that in this instance, even though it is great to have Alex Ross art be put into your story, whether it's covers or otherwise? And the reason I bring this up is just because of the recent Black Panther run. Do you think that the Alex Ross covers might be a detriment to the book? And if people seeing these covers will think that the book is of a certain time, and they may not want to read that, because you and I both know that a lot of people, they won't do what we do. They won't do what listeners will do to our show, what viewers will do with our show, as opposed to just looking at a cover and judging it just off that, as opposed to opening that book and reading it. Do you think that a lot of people with the cover that you have in the middle of us right now, do you think that that might be a detriment to that book, and people will think that it is of a certain time period and they don't want to read that time period? We want to be a little bit more current with what we're reading right now. So I don't really want to mess with Thor right now. If just off that cover, it's delving into that part of Thor, I'll wait until it's a part of a trade. I'll wait until it's a part of a hardcover. Do you think that might be a detriment?
No.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. People are either going to read it or they won't. I think that I see this look. I see the classic Jack Kirby era Thor design, and I think knowing who's on the book, knowing it's Al Ewing, seeing Alex Ross in the covers, which, by the way, we haven't said this, but Martin Coccolo is the one who's going to be doing the interiors of the book, which, by the way, he said something that I thought was very telling about this. He said that basically he wouldn't talk about what was going on in the story, but he basically said that while he was turning the pages on Ewing's script, without knowing what would happen next, he said he basically told the world to let Al cook. And said he would, his words exactly. And he said that he wanted to assure readers that he was making Al's story as beautiful and as powerful as he possibly could. And that Alex Ross himself has said that, he was very excited to, be able to mess with Jack Kirby's, designs and like try and, bring him into a modern era. I think, honestly, if the book is good, people will read it. They're not going to care that it's going backward. I mean, yeah, there are going to be people who are like, yeah, I wish it was something that was, right now. But it's not to say that it won't be. It's not to say that it won't have stuff that's happening currently going on. It's just that it's probably going to deal a lot in the past. It'll probably trade a lot in the past. And that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that because, if I don't go into a story based on when it takes place.
Okay.
I go into a story based on who's writing it, who's on art, and what's the plot that they're working with. What are they trying to tell me? If it takes place in the 1920s or like the 1970s or 500 BC, I don't care. Regardless of where I feel it should take place. I just go with it. And that's kind of where I'm at on it. I think this is going to be good. I think it's going to be fine. I think there are going to be some people who are probably going to bump their expectations up just a smidge too high, thinking it's going to be this versus the other. They're going to try and to be fair, they should compare it to the Immortal Hulk because Al Ewing himself said that this is kind of his way to try and see if he can top himself. But I feel like people are going to be very unfair about that comparison. Like they're not going to be speaking in good faith. If I can, put a finer point on it. But for me personally, I'm excited. It doesn't sound like it because, I'm not like saying like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing. But no, I'm legitimately like excited for it. Like I want this book. I'm ready. I'm ready for this to be out. I'm ready for this current Thor run to wrap up. I think they said that we'll get our first taste of Al Ewing's Thor, Immortal Thor, in Thor Annual #1 that's coming out on July the 5th.
Yes.
And it does say that they're actually going to have a story that's going to bridge the two current, like the Torn Grunbeck story that's going on right now to this one. So yeah, and with everything that's been going on kind of lately with how they've been revisiting some of the things from Thor's past, is how we got the black, quotey fingers, Infinity Stone, so on and so forth. I think this will definitely, I think it's going to be interesting. And here's something I think people also need to take into consideration. It's something else that Ewing said about this that lets me know that it's not just going to be 100% in the past. It says Thor has risen to the role of All-Father of Asgard. So in addition to his own power, he now has the Odin power of his father, which he's learning his way around. Odin had a lot of time to practice, and the Thor force has his own rules that Thor's learning. In recent times, he questioned his worthiness for the role and the role of God of Thunder, and that made for some amazing stories. But those stories have not been told. And it says we're telling a new one from where they ended. Thor holds the hammer. Thor is the king. And now we see how the King of Gods responds to king-size challenges. So he's still going, it's like I said, it's still going to be taking place in the present. It's going to be going back to you know what the best comparison, and it's probably also the worst comparison. Yeah. Arrow. Like how Arrow would always go back and forth between what's going on now versus what was going on then.
On the island,
yeah. That and your mileage with that, like I said, It's probably the best comparison, and at the same time, the worst comparison. But I trust Al Ewing enough, especially, okay, you know what I think is the best example? I'll give you a better example. We only find them when they're dead. If you have not read his series, We Only Find Them When They're Dead, he does that a lot in that series, where he jumps back and forward between what happened. Well, all of it takes place in the far-flung future. Like, we're talking like 23 something. Like, it jumps back and forward a lot, back and forth between one time period versus another.
I know you all don't care about my opinion, but I actually want Ernie's opinion on this because I did see this comment recently, or it wasn't a comment, it was more of a question. And I actually want to get your piece on this. And then we can go ahead and to recommend.
Yeah, we go to recommends after this.
Lord.
Yeah.
Do you think that Al Ewing, this is exactly how I saw this comment, Ernie, I swear to you. I wish I could find the tweet. Do you think that Al Ewing is this gen's Grant Morrison, but less confusing? There were some expletives in there, but that was the way I could dumb it down.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, you know what? Al Ewing is who I wish Grant Morrison was. Because, like, whenever I see Grant Morrison's name on a book, I'm always like, man, I really want to read it. But, man, he is going to Grant Morrison all over the place. Like, Al Ewing knows how to take weird, strange, and unusual ideas and make them palpable, but also palatable to anyone. Like, you know,
example,
I take it back. I will not compare him to Grant Morrison. I will compare him to Jonathan Hickman.
Ooh.
I will compare him to Jonathan Hickman. I personally feel Jonathan Hickman sometimes gets in his own way. Sometimes he get okay, case in point. You'll get
Jonathan Hickman can get in his own way?
Sometimes.
New Avengers. Thank you very much.
I like New Avengers, but anyway. You get the Black Monday murders sometimes. You get East of West sometimes. You get X-Men, House of X, on and so forth. But every now and again, you get a decorum. And I'm not saying decorum is bad. It's just that book is way up its own ass. And that's not me trying to shit on Jonathan Hickman. I think even he knows that book is way and well up its own ass. I'm
laughing because I knew what you meant.
Oh, God. But no, I just I'm fine with it. However, I think there's a reason why I've actually been enjoying the X comics as of late a lot more since Hickman walked away. Like, I know a lot of people got concerned. Because I remember when one of the biggest criticisms I heard people say about Jonathan Hickman's X-Men, like I'm talking about the solo title, is it was too all over the place. Because it was just a bunch of random stories that didn't really connect to one another in any meaningful fashion.
Speak on it, bro.
Where Jerry Duggins is telling a complete and straightforward story for the most part. Al Ewing's X-Men Red, I feel like it's going in a very specific direction. I feel like Cy Spurrier's Legion of X and everything else he's been working on has been going in a very specific direction. And I think it's safe to say that there's a reason why lately when you see the writers in the X office come together, people like Kieran Gillen, Al Ewing, Cy Spurrier, it's always those three names you see come up the most. Because I think they have a unique vision together. And I feel like right now, like, I'm not saying Kieran Gillen's in charge of the all the X stuff. I'm just saying that I feel like he just has a better handle.
I don't know what the fuck Hickman is doing over here. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, come on.
Jerry, put the cheese stick down. Hickman is on his shit. Let's get it together.
Yeah.
Where is Cy?
Come on over here.
Stop talking to that damn waitress. Come on, you, me, and Jerry, we got the. I don't know what the fuck Hickman was trying to do. Did you see the year 10,000 shit he did in the pox? Why did he name them Hox Pox? You finna have motherfuckers reading our books thinking they finna get chicken pox when they read it. You finna have a group of motherfuckers thinking that when they read my X-Men Red, they finna get the chicken pox. Listen. Ma'am, can we get some chicken Alfredo over here, please? Thank you. Jared,
Why do I feel like that Olive Garden?
This.
Why I feel like the waitress didn't come up with the salads and she's sprinkling the cheese and Kieran Gillen just sitting here like he's like yeah. So here's what I think we should do. That phalanx stuff that Hickman was doing was kind of. Oh no, you can keep going. No, keep going. Keep with the cheese. But yeah, the stuff he was doing with the okay, now you can stop with the cheese. The stuff he was doing with the phalanx, I feel like it was just too much. Here, we're gonna do it this way.
And this is why you love us.
But no, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. but no, let's get into our shit. We got some super chats here too. I want to take a look at. We got some super chats here I want to take a look at real quick. We got one from Legion with the $4.99. This is technically something that we answered earlier, talking about the like Blerd Carter. What are your thoughts on the new black suit look? We talked about it a little bit earlier.
We likes it, we loves it. We want some more of it.
Yeah, I mean, I got like I'll just pull up the image like right here. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. I mean, yeah, it looked a little weird to me at first, but once I started looking more at, like the still images of it, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. I get where it's going. I'm actually more interested in what Venom proper is going to look like. That's what I'm more interested in. LP3 with the $5 says late check-in, enjoying a road trip with the fam, wishing everyone a happy and safe Memorial weekend. I almost forgot it was Memorial Day. Yeah, so yeah, Memorial Day weekend, everybody please roll safe. And also you, LP3, please roll safe out there, man. Be safe. Please. We also got Ed Boy in the cut with the 15 months in the Blerd Club. Goldmine says, I think the Immortal Thor book is going to be like watching Odin become Odin, but with Thor. The battles he had, the lessons he's learned, the wrongs. And I agree with that. And that's what I want to see. I want to see, okay, you know, earlier I said I want to see Thor kind of more like the brutish Thor that we saw in Thor Ragnarok. The way I know Thor to be in Norse mythology. I want him to be
we only see that Thor in like other comic companies, AWAs and Dark Horse.
You don't see it in Marvel.
That's where we see that, though. We don't see that in Marvel.
No, because thing is, Thor as a Norse god was kind of problematic. He was kind of all of that. There was a whole problem. No, you can't take Thor and do that with him. Not Marvel Thor, but no, I want to see Al bring Thor down low and then see and watch the rise to power, which, I mean, we kind of got a taste of it. Once again, we got a taste of it in Jason Aaron's Thor, where, you know, he was, showcasing the different time periods where you saw, present day Thor, you saw young Thor, and you saw like old man Thor, like King Thor in the future, with whole granddaughters as good and grown. So yeah, I want to see, kind of like Al said, there are stories out there about how he became the person he's supposed to become. I want to see those stories play out. It's kind of like, you know what it is? This is going to be the equivalent to me, and this is probably not a good comparison, but all the X books, they always have the data pages. Yeah. The data pages. But sometimes they put shit in those data pages where I'm like, I kind of wish y'all just would have showed this to me.
Yeah.
As opposed to like me just having to read about it.
Absolutely.
I feel like this could be that opportunity to be like, hey, those times we kind of hinted that Thor did some stuff like this, or there was something like this going on with Thor. This is that. We're showing you now. We're not just telling you about it. Let's see. I think, yeah, okay, we're caught up. Yep. Yeah, we're caught up. Let's get into our recommendations for the week. Carter, you said I think you said early on, your recommended read for this week is going to be Static.
Shadows of Dakota #4. I already tweeted about it. If you all are following me at Carter Presents on Twitter. This is just blowing volume 1 out of the water, which is what you want to do. When you have your debut album and then you have your second album, it's supposed to be better than the first album. And I think that's what Shadows of Dakota is doing with the story, with the characters, Ebon, Static, with Virgil's family. Everything is just a step above. And this new volume of Static. So that's going to be my recommended this week. Plus, like you all have said on Twitter, that cover is really dope.
Yeah, I love that color.
So yeah, that's going to be my recommended this week. Ernie, what is you recommending to these peoples this week?
Ooh, man. So a lot of you know I'm a huge fan of Radiant Black. And all that entails. Well, this week we got the Supermassive 2023 edition.
Yes, we did.
And it was interesting. It was a little all over the place, a little weird. It was a little weird.
Does it make you just want to be like, okay, before I read this, I should have read Rogue Sun?
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, so full disclosure, while I love everything Radiant Black, I don't actually love everything Radiant. I like Rogue Sun, but I'm not reading Rogue Sun like week to week to week, like I do Radiant Black.
Reading Rogue Sun and went straight to Radiant Black.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah,
say it, because that's what I did.
Rogue, you know what it is? I like Rogue Sun. I like the character of Rogue Sun, but the story kind of fell off for me. So I was like, man, I'll just wait till some more issues stack up, and then maybe I'll go back and revisit it just so I can get it all. I feel like Rogue Sun is that book that I'm a trade weight.
Yeah.
Rogue Sun is a trade weight book, which that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But
so we never heard you say.
Well, yeah,
I'm the bad influence around here. I'm the demon on the side of the angels on your shoulder. We ain't never heard the angels say it. That's what that is.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, this is. I feel like Rogue Sun's a trade weight book, but I did enjoy what I saw. I liked how they were still able to tell a little bit of story about Radiant Black, but also still, tell a little bit of story about what's going on with Rogue Sun. I did not like the idea that Inferno Girl Red did show up to virtually the end of it, but I also liked how what was it the new book they have coming out, The Dead Lucky, which I think might already be out. I think it's already out. Yeah,
I think it's a trade worth of stories out. Right
okay,
now.
Yeah, okay, that's what it is. So yeah, The Dead Lucky, that show, they show it's interesting. It's very interesting. I will also say there's a character who shows up at the very, 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 very ass end of this book that I was not expecting to see, and I'm starting to feel like Todd McFarlane. I feel like Todd McFarlane is just loaning out his characters. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was stupid, but it made sense for the story.
When I saw it, I almost called you, but I was at work. And I feel like you would have had the same attitude I would have had if somebody called you that early in the morning just for that.
Oh yeah, no,
but still, put respect on it.
I feel like, you know what it is? I feel like it's just Todd McFarlane trying to drum up looks.
I don't give a damn.
We're just gonna have random Todd McFarlane characters show up at the end of every book. At Image nowadays. That's what we do now. I personally
would have liked every book that Kyle Higgins is doing to be in this book.
That is fair. That's fair.
I think that would have been the smarter route to go, since this is called Supermassive.
Yeah, Supermassive.
Every fucking book you doing culminate in this book, especially if this is a book that only comes out once a year. But Blerd Without Fear, put some respect on it.
This man. Well, no, I will say this. I'm trying to think of what else you could. Well, yeah, no, I don't know if I'd want all those other ones to jump in. I don't know if I'd want. I'm kind of glad that some of them didn't show up, because there's some I'm like, I don't know how this would fit. I don't know if I'm ready for Ordinary Gods to just start showing up in
even I am saying that was random as fuck.
Yeah,
but still.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean it was interesting. It was interesting. I was still just kind of like, huh? But no, let's get into our questions from the Discord. We got 5 questions we're gonna answer, and if there are not 5 questions, then we will just cut it there. Also, 1 question per person.
Yes.
So if you already have a question in there, yeah. Let's see here. We got one from iCower Over Nothing says, how long do you think it'll be before Wolverine's thing for Red, referring to Jean Grey, for redheads kicks in and he shoots his shot at Mary Jane.
Ugh.
I hope not.
Ugh.
I hope not. I really hope not. I kind of hope that Wolverine stays away from Mary Jane. I don't know. Considering how young she is in comparison, I feel like honestly Wolverine just needs to just not mess with anybody. Like just mess with folks that this is good and well, I mean Mary Jane is good and grown. Just leave Mary out of it. Leave Mary out of it.
Over nothing. I feel like I've never seen you ask a question before, and with that being your first question,
They have.
Really?
That's Rough Rider.
I don't.
I'm just telling you. I mean, but they have asked questions for under that name.
Okay.
But we got Ajax here with says, what's going on, fellas? My question is, with the changes they're making with DC, do you think they're still going to make that Colin Farrell Penguin movie? Well, no, it's already been made. Or it's already being worked on.
Where you been?
It's already being worked on. They actually dropped a sneak preview behind the scenes trailer about a month ago. Now it is on hold right now because of the writers strike. The WGA strike right now. A lot of movies are on hold.
On the way to work, did see Sarah Jessica Parker.
Really?
On the way to work. Funny shit. I'm trying to go to McDonald's to get my early morning 3 for $4 chicken McGriddle. Saw Sarah Jessica Parker.
Was she outside picketing?
Yes, she was.
Proud of her. But no, the WGA strike is actually hitting a lot of things. It's not just Penguin. Thunderbolts is on hold indefinitely. Actually, a lot of Marvel projects are on hold. Blade is on hold. Thunderbolts is on hold. Presumably, some of the other Disney Plus shows are on hold. So a lot of movies, TV shows, so on and so forth are on hold right now as a result of that. But yes, it is still happening. It just doesn't take place in James Gunn's DCU. Everything that is the Batman related, Matt Reeves, the Batman, all of that is its own separate universe. Yeah.
I think he flat out said it was Elseworlds.
Yeah, he said it was Elseworlds. Yeah, it's not main continuity as far as James Gunn's concerned. Massagel with a question here says, question, when I first tuned in, I heard y'all talking about Kitty Pryde, and it made me think about Uncanny X-Men number 183, where Colossus fought the Juggernaut in a bar. Did y'all ever read that? Basically, Wolverine set up that fight to get back at Colossus for breaking Kitty Pryde's heart. Yeah, I do remember that. Actually, funny story. Okay, so... and here I'll read the rest. It says Wolverine's petty as hell for that. So here's the thing about that. When I brought up the instance of the stuff that happened with Kitty Pryde, okay, that was not long after that. I'm talking about the Kitty Pryde stuff. Was not long after that. But yeah, Wolverine used to be a pretty petty dude. Like, it's kind of funny. Wolverine kind of used to be the guy that, like, was the go-between for a lot of people. Like, I would say what you will about the first issue of Storm. But yeah, it's one of those things, like, Wolverine was kind of the guy that would give you the perspective of both sides of the argument, but he was also the guy that would get back at you for doing something to somebody he cared about. And while I think he knew that Colossus could take Juggernaut, it's still kind of petty for him to be like, yeah, man, fuck that dude. But yeah, I do recommend it. That was, ooh, man, I think that was like 2 or 3 years, maybe 2 years prior. Okay. Yeah, I want to say that was like maybe 2 or 3 years prior to that. I could be wrong. As a matter of fact, here, I actually think, because I have a lot of the old Uncanny stuff, like that I've run through for images and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is it right here. Yeah, this is it right here. But yeah, Wolverine. Yeah, basically he basically. This is the funny part right here. This is the funny part. I'm gonna pull this up. So this right here, this is some of the pages from it. So right here, they're having their little discussion. For those who can't tell, right here in the top right, this is Colossus. If you cannot tell. And as you go through it, you know, Wolverine's looking around and he just sees Juggernaut in the bar. He recognizes that he's in the bar. And he's like, I got this motherfucker now. He grabs a hold of Colossus and basically yucks that dude into Juggernaut. Knowing Juggernaut is right there. Now, the reason why this isn't such a big deal is because, well, yeah, Wolverine started the fight. Colossus has the full, like, he has full access to all his capabilities at this moment. Right here, Juggernaut is as close to being regular man as he can possibly be, if only by virtue of the fact that he doesn't have his helmet on. Like he still has the power, but like the weakness that he has not having his helmet is in full effect. So I thought that was actually pretty damn cool. But that said,
okay, I'll read this one here.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit us.
This one's from Jay Dizzle. Mild challenge for you both. You have $10 a month for Marvel Comics only. That's only 1.5 books. Yeah. What titles are you spending that money on monthly? I would spend the main chunk of it on X-Force, and I would spend the rest of it and then have to pull another $5 out my pocket for Ghost Rider. What about you, Blerd?
$10 a month. Honestly,
remember, 1.5 books.
Well, it depends on where you are. Here it would be like, I think most of the books. Well, technically, I think most of the books are like either $3.99 or $4.99, something like that. Mm-hmm. So that would technically be 2 books for me.
Okay.
But that said, that is a tough one. I tell you what, I would take X-Men Red. That's off top. That's off top.
Okay. Okay.
And then my next book. Oh, you know what? It's gonna be pretty obvious. It would be
Moon Knight. Moon Knight.
You know what? It would be close. Moon Knight. I would almost have to come up out of extra 5 for.
Okay.
But no, it would be Something's Killing the Children. Because that's still running.
Marvel.
Oh, wait. I thought he said, never mind.
Look at you.
It was just Marvel. If we're talking just Marvel,
yes.
Oh, then yeah, Moon Knight. Then it would be Moon Knight. It would be Moon Knight.
So you got X-Force and Ghost Rider, and you got X-Men Red and Moon Knight.
And Moon Knight, yeah, there you go. I like having my team book and my street level book.
Okay.
So there you go. I misread it because like the reason why that's why I had that long pause, because I was like, I didn't even factor in the Marvel part of it. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, just period. Oh shit. I was like, damn.
Okay.
I'm like, bruh. Ugh. Woo.
All right. Last question from the Discord from Urban Princess Strong Style. Hey fellas, question: how can people like Eddie Brock and Flash Thompson be able to use Venom proper, unlike Peter Parker?
Because Peter didn't fully bond with the suit. I mean, he bonded with it, but like he never fully accepted the suit. And that's been said on a lot of different occasions. I think that was even something that's been said multiple times by Eddie Brock, even back when Eddie Brock and Venomverse became like a thing. Like that Peter rejected the power, that he didn't like. He didn't fully accept the bond of the symbiote. Therefore, he didn't get to use the symbiote the way that everyone else has. Because everyone else that uses a suit, they throw themselves into it.
Okay, I'm happy you said that. So Peter did not throw himself at it. He rejected it. Mm-hmm. Eddie, the symbiote, took more control than Eddie did. Flash accepted the symbiote.
Yeah. Eddie accepted the symbiote, but that was much later. That was
Donny Cates' run. Yeah. When he accepted it like Flash did. Yeah. But yeah, Peter didn't. The symbiote did, and then Flash did.
Yeah.
And then it was
You have to look at this. It's the little nuances in there. But yeah,
yes,
that is why. Absolutely. That is 100% why.
Yeah.
Let's get into our questions from the chat. I'm gonna try and get through these pretty quick because we are getting way up on time. I'm looking. I'm scrolling back through to look and see if anybody put anything in while we were doing our thing. So far I don't see anything. Nothing that has question in front of it, at least. Remember, please put question in front of your question because it makes it easier than for. Oh, here. Well, I guess they technically did it in a roundabout way. Here, let's do it this way. Bam. K-Tug says, my question, Blerd, do you think Cloak and Dagger can defeat the Void, being that Cloak can absorb darkness?
Bruh. I know what he asked you. I'm gonna shut up.
No, what you gotta say? I'm curious. I'm very curious. I want to see what you say.
Cloak and Dagger beating the Void. I would quit reading Marvel Comics.
You have to say the Void is something that I don't think you.
Not somebody with a freeform series is going to be able to beat.
Well, I mean, I will say this. Yes, they are right about one thing. Cloak can absorb darkness, and Dagger controls light. Now, yes, freeform series aside, they are powerful characters. They are very powerful characters. They're just not used very well. I don't think that's something. If I were to pit them against the Void, it wouldn't be something they would wrap up in one issue. I'll put it that way. It would be something that it would be like something that happens over the course of like 10 or 12 issues.
To die, Ernie.
Well, yeah, no. So,
whether that brother or that white woman, somebody got to die.
I will give you that. I will concede that point. I will concede that point. Okay, now we got here's one from JD. Says, my wallet is extended, fellas, but I'm interested in both upcoming Hickman projects. Which way would y'all go, with Gods or Ultimate Invasion? Man, that's a tough one because honestly, I'm not as interested in Gods as everyone else is. Like, we actually were going to talk about it on the show, but I cut it because I was like, I don't really have anything. Like, yeah, because me and Robo were talking off to the side. He was like, he's like, is there ever times where y'all talk about stuff on the cave that you're actually not interested in? Like, you realize, like, as you're talking about it. I was like, yeah, it happens every week. But like I said, sometimes I cut them, sometimes I don't, or sometimes I don't talk about them for very long. I just talk about them because I feel like I should talk about them. But yeah, Gods is one of those I'm not interested in. Like, I mean, it looks cool, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to read it first.
Are you saying that because you legitimately don't care about Gods, or do you know, speaking on Ultimate Invasion, you are at risk even though you are bald? Them hitch clippers might be coming, my brother. I'm going to do as much as I can to protect you because there's love there, but still.
It's like, you imagine somebody like, is Brian Hitch Clippers coming at you and someone just jumps in the way like, no.
I feel like they would jump in the way, but then realize those are hitch clippers and like, then slowly try to move back.
Dude, I saw somebody get a plug cut in their head the other day watching this video. I was just like, damn, Brian Hitch out here. Like, it was right in the, like, it was like right here in the top, like in the very top of the head. Like, it was like, you can't hide. I was like, you can't hide that.
Do you know?
You know what it was? The guard fell off. Like, dude was shaping him up, but the guard fell off the clippers. The guard fell off the clippers, and he didn't realize it. And all of a sudden,
turn me around. That's what popped in your head.
Oh, God, too. I'm done. But no, I'm gonna say I'm more interested in Ultimate Invasion. Ultimate Invasion, I'm more interested in. Here, let's here. Let's see here. Wait, did I? Okay, here we go. Marcus Hill. Oh, wait, wait, answer that one out, then I'll get to this next one. Marcus Hill says, question, what if they put the Spot in Spider-Man 2? I would holler. It would be interesting, though. If they put the Spot, like, here's the thing. they can put the Spot in there, but if they put him the way he is in Across the Spider-Verse, I will holler. Like, where if he's kind of a joke at first and then you realize the dude's a whole problem, I would holler.
I want us to go today. I'm going to go in like Beverly Hills and I'm going to go to the beach and stuff like that. I want to see if I see people actually wearing those Spider-Verse Jordan 1s. If I see the Spot on anybody's Jordan 1s, I'm going to scream.
Oh, man.
I'm calling you immediately.
Oh, yeah. That's a household. Like the Spot is officially a household name. We got one here from LL Melvin L says, what comic book is a tough read through? Ooh,
They're
tough.
not on my shelf.
You know what? I tell you what. Man,
It is on my shelf right now. Woo.
what? Which
Woo.
one?
I was gonna say Why the Last Man. Why the Last Man was tough.
Oh, yeah. Why the Last Man's a tough read. That is, you know what? That is a good answer. Why the Last Man is a tough read. For me,
yeah.
Oh man, a tough read.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh.
Give it to me.
I've said this before.
I'm putting it down.
I've said this before, so it probably won't surprise anybody, but anyone who's new probably will. The Boys. The Boys is a tough read.
That's safe.
It is a tough read. Actually, and I'll go as far as say Preacher. Also a tough read. Really, any Garth Ennis. Anything by Garth Ennis is a tough read for me.
I won't. Ooh. I'll say The Boys way more than Preacher.
Oh, well, yeah, no. 100%.
Okay.
Boys is a way worse read than Preacher. It is so hard to get through. But like Preacher was like my first, I was like, oh, Garth is like this. And I will say this, I'll throw another one. I'll throw even a bonus one out there because I do feel like that's a low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
The like going back and rereading Sin City. That's a tough read for me. That's a tough read for me. Because I kind of want to use something that I think of as like legitimately good. Because I think Sin City is legitimately good.
Oh.
But those books are a tough read. Frank Miller in general can be a tough read.
I didn't know we were going legitimately good. Because I was going to tell you, if The Boys is bad, I'm going to give you some DC to read. Read Ennis's Dial H for Hero.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm super straight. No, thank you. All right, that is... Well, I mean, how many was that? That was one,
No,
two,
Nick D. We ain't talking about Cross. No,
three,
no, that is enough. That was enough. That was enough.
No, I'm good.
That boy said it 3 times. No, your Caucasian cap lock will not deter us. No.
Let's see here. I tell you what, since that, oh shit, these are jumping up on me.
Yeah.
You know what? This one.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking through. I want to see.
Was it Section 8 base dollar? I thought it was Dial H for Hero. Was it Section 8?
Wait, Section 8 might, that sounds more accurate because Dial H, I think, was something else.
Okay.
I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one by Jonathan Stewart because ultimately it's kind of goes back to something that we talked about earlier. Okay. They asked the question, would you guys like if they give you the ability to play as Venom after Peter rejects the suit in the game, like a good/evil track, like some other games, like a morality system?
A lot of people want that because of Ultimate Spider-Man, which is why I brought it up earlier. You ain't getting that.
No, probably not. You know what I think will happen? DLC. I guarantee it won't be in the game proper, but I guarantee they'll probably be like kind of how they did with Miles Morales. I think they'll keep it slated to just Peter and Miles as characters you can play as, but there'll be a DLC comes out that'll be like Spider-Man Venom, like as a DLC, like a full, but like treat it as a full standalone, kind of like how with Miles, how it was a DLC, but it was practically a standalone game. It'll be kind of along those lines. I think that is more likely.
So I will disagree with that just because I think that they know people want that and you don't give it to them in that game. I think you might get it in a future game. I think for the sequel, you'll get Black Suit and you will be happy that you got Black Suit and that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's how
fair.
they'll do you all.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's see here. Well, technically that was 5. That was 5.
Yep.
Carter, I think that's the show.
Okay.
I think that's the show.
All right.
Carter, what do you got going on, man? You got anything special coming up you want to announce before we head out of here?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, and I'm
Did you
getting
stream it?
annoyed. I did stream it, but apparently Twitch and OBS was acting up. So I thought it was one stream, but it was apparently 5 because my stream kept dying and I didn't know. But I'm getting annoyed at constantly seeing you on Steam playing Hut Showdown, and I can only imagine the trials. And I am absolutely throwing shade when I say this. I can only imagine the trials and tribulations you are going through with a subpar teammate on your side. So I think I'm going to install Hunt Showdown so you can at least have somebody that can
Robo's good.
understand the trials and tribulations that you are going through.
This motherfucker. I was saying, they about to put the gator in. The gator's coming.
I think I'm gonna install Hunt Showdown right after this and like play with you all so you can have a third teammate. That way, in case somebody does something real questionable, I can just send you a DM and just be like, "Hey, you saw that, right?"
This motherfucker. No. Dude. Robo's good. I will say this. We all have our habits. This is what I will say. And this is something I think Robo would even agree with. He and I both have habits that have gotten us killed. Of course.
See, look. Like Cammy came in. Cammy been gone for like an hour and a half of this show because she having PTSD flashbacks of how he plays on Dead by Daylight and had to come in here and say, "Poor Robo." She know what time it is.
Robo, you here to finish? I was saying, man, leave Robo alone. Leave Robo alone.
I didn't say his name. You said his name. I just said somebody.
I knew who you were talking about, though. I knew who you were talking about.
Cammy the one told his business. You the one told his business. I didn't say nobody.
Oh my god. Anyway, I don't have anything to announce other than keep it locked to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you haven't liked the stream, go ahead and hit that like button because if I'm not mistaken, we're a little low on likes. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure if you haven't done so already, if you are not subscribed to the channel, and make sure you tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Make sure to check back for more videos because we're gonna be having more videos coming up throughout the week. And yeah, I have nothing else. I just want to say thank you to everybody for supporting the channel, supporting the stream, the lurkers, chatters, super chatters, channel members, patrons, everyone. Thank you so much for all the love. People who are listening at home or out on the road, over on Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, whatever. Thank you so much for listening. And, once again, leave a rating. And yeah, thank you all so much for Carter Presents. I am the Blerd Without Fear. And David Zaslav,
God.
you can go to hell.